Hey, welcome friends. It's Wednesday night and it is time for some D&D. And before we go any further, we have some very, very important holiday business to attend to. Today is, in fact, Hobbit Day. There we go. I was just letting it breathe a little bit. Took you a minute, but you got there. So I appreciate that support, Gideon. Overwhelming. Now that we've got the celebration out of the way, I hit the confetti button. Nothing happened. Hey, so let's play D&D, shall we? I'm Wiley Hobbit. I'll be your host and dungeon master. Let's see, I'm probably trashing a million copyright laws with that background music. There we go. And we're going to play some D&D with some veritable strangers, it seems. We haven't been on the internet in 2 weeks. And dear Kayla, Ezralyn hasn't been here in a long time, so it's good to have you back. Why don't we have you kick off the character introductions?
Hi, I'm Ms. Mystery, also known as Kayla. You can find me on Twitter under those names. That's the outro, not the intro. I'm sorry. It's been a long while. Okay. I'm playing Ezralyn, the level 5. Are we still level 5?
Level 6.
No, we're level 6.
Level 6. Half-orc fighter. She is the epitome of mom friend, but she also will fuck you up.
That's right. Party mom, don't piss her off. That's right. Very good, very good. Also, moral compass. Yeah. Very nice. Okay, Von Volt.
Make sure I'm not muted. Okay.
You are not muted.
Great. All right, I am Matt. I play Von Volt. Von Volt is a human fighter, archer, champion, dragon slayer, hero. What's his thing? Not really a mercenary, just wants to help out. So, yeah, I guess we're level 6 now, and he is a Lord of Neverwinter, which is cool.
How did that happen? Nice.
So very excited to keep rolling with the party. I almost switched him out. I had some weirdos on deck. I was a little excited about that, but very cool.
some weirdos on deck. Well, that sounds lovely, yes.
Yeah.
Nice. Very good, very good. All right, Von Volt, very good. Ethan.
Hey, everybody. I'm Chris, WikiVA on Discord and Twitch. I play Lord Ethan, the Oracle of Savras. He is a human diviner, and he's like the jelly in the middle of a jelly donut. He's sweet, delicious, and you're just so happy to get to him when you get to him.
That doesn't sound right.
Did you switch characters? Yeah. Wow. All right. So, while we're all recovering from that, we'll go up to Jacob. Jacob
Everfleet. Yes, hi. I'm Dave. Hey, Wilson on the internet. I'm playing Jacob Everfleet, your ever-loving and morally questionable halfling cleric trickster.
All right. And Gideon, last but certainly not least, we have an update, an upgrade, a change, a shift, a transmogrification.
Yeah, last thing didn't go so well, so I think I'm going to play someone that's good at smashing. I will be playing a reprise of my original D&D character, Iode Foebreaker, Dwarven Barbarian.
Iode Foebreaker, Dwarven Barbarian.
Very excited because I love to smash things.
Nice. The party could use a smash things person. Yes. And as you see, we do have a sad, dark space in the bottom left corner of our overlay, as our friend Carl is unable to join us because, frankly, he doesn't seem to care enough about D&D to make commitments. So we will be taking applications. No, I'm just kidding. No, he couldn't be here tonight. And so we will struggle on without the effervescent, finesse-covered
You're
Tanner,
right now.
Tanner Skywalker. Yeah. So, having said all of that, allow me to recap the last. Hey, thanks for that sub, WikiVA. That's already 2 additional +2s the party has earned. And I'm just looking for the most recent tally These +2s are usable on D20 rolls. Let's see. We haven't rolled a D20 in a good long time, have we, kids? So let's see. Looks like there are 31, so 33 +2s. And
Wow.
let's see. How many DM advantages? 11.
Wow.
All right. So the last time we were all together a couple of weeks ago, the party was about to embark on a bit of a mission. They've taken a job. Hey, Danny Hurt, welcome, and thanks for the follow, brother. Glad to have you aboard. Kind of surprised that you came to see Matt, but okay. I mean, that's whatever works, man. It's cool. No, I'm just kidding. So glad to have you aboard. So it's a free-for-all sort of, pick on people here at the Wiley Habit network of Dungeons and Dragons. At any rate, so last session they were at the Moonstone Mask, which is one of the premier fest houses in all of Faerun, and they were there overnight on the hospitality of the Lord Protector of Neverwinter, a Daggelt Neverember, and the company of the Looming Eye is now sort of a pay for hire, so they're sort of on retainer, I suppose, for the good Lord Protector. He has asked them, and they have accepted, the offer to head to Leilon, which is several days south of Neverwinter. It's sort of geographically halfway between Neverwinter and Waterdeep, right along the high road, not far from the Sea of Swords. It's actually a former fishing village. It was laid low by awful things many decades ago, and the Lord Protector has a mind to see it rebuilt and thriving once again, not only as an excellent fishing village and trade hub. It's not too far from the Tribor Trail, which runs east and west and dead ends into the high road, but it also makes for a nice stop along the way to reprovision and resupply just north of the Mere of Dead Men if you're headed to Neverwinter from Waterdeep or vice versa. So the party has agreed to escort a wagon load of gear down to Leilon, building supplies, mortar, stone, tools, foodstuffs. There are a number of individuals who have repopulated Leilon, and they are in the process of rebuilding the village at the behest of Lord Protector Neverember. And so the party is to deliver this wagon load of goods. The last attempted delivery was waylaid by a group of Agrillons and some bugbears who were sporting odd attire and weaponry, and they seemed, particularly I think it was the Agrillons, particularly weird holy symbols and markings and accoutrements. They looked to be part of some sort of a tribe, but this group had waylaid and killed a number of the Neverwinter militia who were taking that cart down to Leilon. So the company, the Looming Eye, has been hired to transport and then stay in Leilon, just to kind of keep an eye on things and maybe offer defense for the community as it rebuilds itself. The last couple of episodes, the party spent meeting and commiserating with an interesting individual, also known as Gideon's most recent character, Lucrezia, who had offered for the party to help her. She was sort of recruiting talent, let's say, and she needs help protecting her matron, who happens to reside in a little place we like to call Barovia, who happens to be a vampire. And she needs defending and protecting. And apparently the good people amongst the party had some sort of bizarre moral issue with the whole thing. And they didn't really feel like it would be in their best interest to try to destroy a talisman of pure good. I don't know, whatever. And so they decided to turn down the offer that one thought couldn't be refused. And so they are setting out, leaving Neverwinter, and we were going to pick them up on the road to Leilon, south of Neverwinter, on a early afternoon. It's still late summer. We are in the 9th month now. but it is still fairly warm, although the air has changed to be much less humid and quite breezy as you make your way. And this is a 2-horse drawn full wagon, 2-axle, 4 wheels. So I don't know if anyone has animal handling or anything, but whoever's pretty good at that might want to climb aboard the buckboard and give me an animal handling roll.
While we're doing that, for timing purposes, it has a day passed. Is this the same day as we parted with Lucretia, or is it?
Yes. Yeah.
Just for those of us who may have been grievously wounded by the talisman.
Same day, buddy. I'm sorry about that. Gosh, that's unfortunate.
Well, it was quite surprising.
Yes. Yeah. Who knew that being of not good alignment and touching a talisman of pure good could result in horrifying pain? Yes. Who knew? I mean, well, the DM knew. I mean, I knew.
I did too, as I identified it.
Yes, you certainly discovered the power of a talisman of pure good. So yes, it is the same day. You were up early and met Lucretia for breakfast. You've parted company, having been repaid the winnings that she got from you at the table the prior evening at the Moonstone Mask, and you are on the road, probably 3 or 4 hours south of Neverwinter.
All right. I have a 21 for animal handle.
I have 22.
Nice. We'll let you two fight over that.
I can take it.
No,
I don't mind riding ahead and scouting either.
One of you each has 1 rein. How about that?
Yeah.
There you go.
We gotta do it at the same time.
This is what Ezra started out doing. So this was a good chunk of her life, was escorting caravans. So she's happy wherever she is. This is like walking down memory lane for her.
Perfect.
Everybody, grab a horse.
So yes, two draft horses and a heavy wooden wagon. The load is almost as tall. The size of the wagon, like from the floor of the wagon to the top of the sides, probably about 3 feet, and it is loaded. It's heavy, but it is also tied down and covered with a tarp. So whatever you're hauling cannot be seen unless somebody manages to get close enough to untarp the wagon.
And we're trying to keep a low profile, right? We didn't want them to know. We don't want people to know that we're from Neverwinter.
We don't want anyone in Leilon to know that they'll know we're from Neverwinter because we're carrying supplies from there.
Right.
They don't want we don't want them to think that we're spying on them.
Right, which we are, I guess.
That's totally what we're doing.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Mercenary company out of Endlin. You're not that important.
Yeah, for all they know, you're just the clowns that have been hired to get this rig down to Leilon, because he did ask that you remain somewhat discreet about the actual nature of the true nature of your business in Leilon, which is, again, to keep an eye on things and, if needed, go to the defense of the village and so forth. But I'm sure that there would never be any kind of, like attack or anything, or anything dangerous.
No. No bugbears worshiping Talos would dare.
That would never
anywhere near us.
Right, that would never happen.
Yeah, clowns indeed.
For our viewing audience, I have covered up Ethan and also Jacob. Sorry, Jacob, but I put the map up there of the region. So they're traveling from Neverwinter on down to Leilon. You see that little speck right above the Mere of Dead Men. It has Leilon over by the high road, but it also has Leilon on the local map as being a waterfront coastal village. So I feel like it needs to be a little further west over to where the actual coast is. So that's where they're headed, down to Leilon.
Yeah. Well, in fact, the lore of Leilon is that it's a coastal city.
That's right. Coastal real estate. The weather is sunny, breezy, probably low 80s, and entirely not humid, which is a pretty nice. It's nice to have this shift of air mass, not making it so humid. Players, I've dropped the map into Discord as well, so you can just kind of get a visual reckoning on where you're headed.
That's awesome.
Fantastic.
This is where you guys start role playing and stuff.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, it's all yours.
This Rose is whistling happily. This is her thing. Doing that since she was 12.
Yeah. As we're going, I think Jacob will have taken over a spot on the back of one of the flat boards and started making lunch. Sandwiches with cheese and cold cuts and maybe some fresh veggies if there are any, and handing them out and making sure people are fed.
You were able to provision pretty much at your whim. So whatever you wish to, hey, Ranger Harley, whatever you wish to kind of equip your character with for this trip, feel free to do so. Again, serving at the pleasure of the Lord Protector is not a bad way to go. So if there are foodstuffs, cooking ingredients, I know Jacob and Von Felt fancy themselves. They like to cook on the road. So any of that sort of thing, feel free to equip yourselves that way.
Absolutely.
I'm glad the weather's getting nicer. I don't want to keep changing my outfits all the time. So, okay, so, Eshelin, do you know the way exactly? I'm not really too familiar with the high road.
Wiley, I'm going to assume she's done it before, or do you want me to roll a check of some sort?
No, you're real familiar with the Sword Coast, having escorted more than your fair share of caravans. Yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah, we just head straight down this road. There's a little turn there. I've had a few bad encounters, but it should be fine. There's lots of us. This is a good cart. It should be fine. Everything's wonderful.
Perfect. Finally, some good news.
Did Neverember send any man-at-arms with us to supplement, or is it just us?
Just you.
Okay, that's good. Fewer people to have to eliminate when we break cover.
That's right.
Should I do the responsible thing and ride ahead?
Well, you're the one who doesn't get surprised, so. Sure.
Are the rest of you on horseback? Or
I
are
would
you,
be, yeah.
are you walking along?
I really like that big horse I took off that bandit crew.
Yes.
Jacob's going to ride on the cart.
Very
Ethan
well.
would be riding on a horse.
Lord Ethan, of course.
Lord Ethan.
Lord
right,
Ethan.
I forgot.
Oracle.
Very well.
Andrew's on the cart for sure.
Yep. Okay. And I would assume that Tanner Seawalker would also be upon a steed of the mighty variety.
Nag.
All
So
right.
I can I can take a sandwich and go ahead, I guess.
Okay. So you're going to kind of scout ahead?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're in grassy, hilly, if you look to your right, to the west, you can see the openness of the Sword Coast, or of the Sword, the Sea of Swords, excuse me, because you just happen to be at the point of the road that is closest to a little bit of an inlet. So you're probably a quarter of a mile from the seashore at this point. About 4 hours into your journey southward. It is probably 2 full days ride to the Tribor Trail, which is, if you recall, that's the highway where if you were to take a left, you would go back over to Fandolin, where the inn was. There was that wayside inn that you stopped at on your way up. And then probably a day to where you turn off and head due west out to Leilon. So all in all, probably 3.5 days ride, during which time nothing can go wrong.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Huh. Not exactly going to be easy trying to hide this giant wagon at night. Oh, we can put it in a tower.
No, I don't think we can. No, I don't think we can put it in the tower. We can put it behind the tower, perhaps.
Yeah, we can establish a picket.
Oh, this party. Where do we get these people?
It's the jealousy of living accommodations.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
So you're eating lunch, rolling on your way. Would you like to roll perception, Von Felt, since you're kind of riding point? And how far out beyond the party? I just need to know how long it'll take them to find your corpse. I mean, to catch up to you should the need arise.
Let's say 100 feet or yards. Just
100 yards?
above.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Football field. Very nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead and
Perception.
roll perception for me.
Ooh, 11.
Our dragon hunter, killer, archer, champion guy. 11.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you are close enough to the sea that your sensitive nostrils and your familiarity with port cities as a merchant catch the salty breeze from the west, and you can see gulls. Breeze blowing across the grasses. The road is empty as far southward as you can see. And you're in a very grassy, open area. There's a little bit of some hills here and there, some hillocks here and there, but it's pretty well wide open. There's no trees. It's grassland, and there are no signs of anything, either moving, stationary, or like tracks or evidence of anything having passed, on either side of the road as far as you can see.
All right. In that case, I'll regroup for a bit.
Sure.
And I'll just go out at intervals.
Good.
Cool. Ezralyn, is this road normally this quiet?
It's fairly well traveled. Certain parts of the year it can get pretty nasty, but for the most part, it's quiet. You gotta watch out for like junctions and stuff. But they've been pretty good about making sure things are clear. Like a few places where stuff grows in, you'll get a couple of bandits hiding out in a bush, trying to be badass and things like that. But for the most part, this road's been pretty good. Been on it for 30-something years. So.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time when when Mount Hotenau exploded, the volcano went off there and laid low Neverwinter and took out many, many miles of the high road, both north and south of the city, which has all been reconstructed, rebuilt, mostly since Lord Protector Neverember has assumed the directorship or the protectorship of Neverwinter. And yeah, that's the thing that kind of scratches all of your heads is how, in the first place, was the first cart waylaid out in the open. You would think, like, where would anything hide that could make an approach? But I mean, you saw it yourself. The thing had been flipped over, its contents spilled. 9 of 10 militia were killed. It was a pretty grisly scene, and you'll encounter that site tomorrow during your travels.
All right.
So we can turn the clock forward to dinner time, early evening, if you want to think about when you want to rest for the evening, find a place to camp or whatever for the night, unless you plan, of course, to roll right through the night.
I mean, we could.
I think a couple levels of exhaustion could add to the interest of the gaming session.
Yeah, I'm with that. So yeah, if you guys want to.
Go with finding somewhere to sleep.
Okay.
Yeah, I can find us a spar.
Yeah. Von Felt's been kind of that guy that's scouted out the campsites and so forth, and the challenge is to get yourselves from out in the open, and the problem is everything's out in the open. So the best advice I can give you is to find one of these small hills, an area where you can maybe just pull off the road and maybe get the hill between you and the road or something along that line. That's probably the closest thing to any kind of cover, because again, you've ridden ahead 3 or 4 times, and there are no trees out here. And Ezra, that you are probably 6 miles west of the Neverwinter woods, and now you've even left the seashore, so there wouldn't even be anywhere to ride feasibly without going well out of your way by several hours to to get to anything resembling cover.
Mm-hmm. How high is the top of the cart in the air? Is it like?
Oh, sure. Probably about 5 feet or so. Yeah, like there's probably a good 2 feet beneath the cart, beneath the wagon.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a good 3 feet height of wagon itself. Yeah, so you could sleep under the wagon easily enough.
And like the height of the cargo and the stuff. How like? 'Cause if she can cart, Ezra said she would sleep on top of the cart. Like, kind of
Okay, yeah, you'd be
There,
in
that way.
plain sight because the cargo is pretty much has filled the entire wagon. But you could certainly make yourself a resting place up there.
And that's where she'll sleep if we plan to stop or do anything.
Okay. So as the rest of you you pull off the road, you get your wagon settled. Are you going to try and duck behind a small hill or?
Yeah, if possible. I mean, I would aim for something far away enough from the joys of dark vision. So
Okay.
off the road, make sure it's, no one just passing by happens to be an elf or anything and goes, oh, hey. So,
Yeah, you could easily do that. Your wagon tracks will lead anyone from the road right to you as you are in grassy, but it's not like thick, dense grass. It's sparse, especially up near the road. It's kind of dry and patchy in places. So you could get off the road and you could be trackable, but the most important thing is you could get between a couple of very small little hills and park your wagon and make a decent camp for the night. And at least you wouldn't be visibly within plain sight from the road. Somebody would have to purposefully get off the road and look for you.
yeah,
Albeit you wouldn't be too hard to find, but yeah.
sure. I can, I don't know, maybe try to obfuscate some of the tracks, but
Okay.
whatever.
Yeah, roll me let's go with survival.
All right.
Obfuscate. That's a great word.
18.
That's pretty nice. Yeah. So with that, you feel pretty confident that you have maybe you've taken like a rake out of the pile of tools that's secured in the cart and raked away your tracks. And once everybody has got the wagon stowed and so forth. So yeah, it's easily enough to do.
Fantastic.
Is there a good place in this campsite for the tower?
I mean, it's pretty wide open. You're in grasslands, and these hills, by hill, I mean, you could, if you measured like from the ground at the base of the hill to the top of the hill, you're talking like 10 feet. They're not, big mountainous hills. You could put a tower there, but it's a 2-story tower, right?
Yep.
It'd be visible.
I'm going to cast the tower.
Okay. The tower is cast. Would you, for our viewers, give a nice description of your tower?
Sure. So the tower is made of obsidian. It's black obsidian. And as Ethan casts the spell, it takes 10 minutes for him to cast the spell. But as he casts the spell, he holds in his hand a small chunk of black obsidian. And as he casts the spell, he manipulates his hands around the piece of obsidian, and it begins to spin around. And as the spell comes to its conclusion, the chunk of obsidian rests in his hand, and he takes it in his other hand and he tosses it where he wants it to form, and it hits the ground and starts spinning around, and a tower of black obsidian rises from that little chunk of black obsidian. The tower is 2 stories tall. It is, how tall is it? I forget already.
20 feet.
Gonna make like a real estate listing description for this.
I do. I need a,
Little Zillow
I
entry.
need a Zillow. I can track how much it costs, how much it's worth. So it's 20 feet tall. It's 100 square feet. And at the top, on the second floor of the tower, there's a window. And you can see the glow of what probably is a really comfortable fire inside the tower. There's a door at the front of the tower on the first level.
You get some drapes.
Yeah. No modesty when you're 20 feet up. And once the tower is cast, he's going to say, well, good night, everybody. And he's going to walk into the tower and shut the door behind him.
I was expecting.
Like our containment cells, like as long as he's in there, then he's not out here.
True. That's very true. That makes things this evening much more enjoyable. You really know how to put things in perspective. I appreciate that about you.
All right, so Ethan is comfortably stowed in his tower. What are the rest of you doing at this point?
Setting up camp, getting food ready, establishing watch schedule, all the good stuff.
I'll take the first watch tonight. As long as we're out on the plains, I feel like I should be doing a better job watching things. In the woods, I'm fine, but I don't know what it is.
It's last touch.
Higher threats. So I guess I'll just talk stealth shop with Tanner.
Okay. Did you say you were making fire? I apologize. I was handling some DM duties while you were making descriptions.
I assume we're going to have a fire, but we can always sleep and eat cold.
Mm-hmm. They would have given you firewood and so forth if you asked for it, to take with you for such things, because you wouldn't be traveling through anywhere that would provide it naturally.
I mean, we're pretty civilized. I don't think we'd want to eat cold food.
Right.
We're lords and ladies.
That's right.
I'm fine for going comfort for safety at this point. So we're not fighting, a dozen bugbears in the dark?
Okay, so fire it is.
Sure.
And
yeah, we're only a day out.
And Von Felt, you said you and Tanner are going to do some scouting, stealthing, or just perimeter watch?
Yeah. Perimeter watch.
Okay.
I'm trying to role play my stealth better. So
Okay.
anything I can do to hang out and learn from Tanner, I guess.
Okay. Well, he suggests that he will watch the road from a sort of a laying down vantage point beside the hill that's closest to the road, so that he might remain unseen and able to watch the road. And so with your agreement, he will head off in that direction, or if you care to join him, you're welcome to do so.
Sure, I'll do it, but 100 yards in the opposite direction of the road.
Okay, so he'll go in the northerly direction. And as you part company, he vanishes. It's gotten to be that twilight where colors start to kind of blend together and things disappear easily. And he, almost as if by magic, like he's standing there talking to you, and he gives you the like the okay sign or whatever, and says, "See you soon." And then all at once, you just don't see him. You don't hear him. He is rolled rather well on his stealth roll.
He's Batman me.
He is doing his thing.
Excellent.
Don't worry about that sound of that dice rolling. Don't worry about that. It's nothing to hear. Yeah, please make a stealth roll.
Oh, 24.
I'll just get my little Keith Almond book out, and I'll roll in that so you can't hear. Yeah,
yes, that's a great book.
The monsters know it. I mean, I'm not going to use it per se, but I'll have it open to pages so that you can't hear my die roll.
There you go.
And
Good
what was your stealth?
I have a 24.
Yeah, so you vanish as easily as, in fact, you hear him go, "Oh." as you vanish heading southward.
That's a good Tanner impression.
It is.
Yeah. And so he takes a position. You assume he's laying down in the taller grass. You also take a position about 100 feet, you said, south,
Yeah.
and watch the road. Go ahead and roll perception.
8.
Okay, yeah, it's all quiet. It's nothing to see. It's nice. He gives you a little spark of his tinder and flint to let you know that he's in position. That was the agreement. Just came up with that myself. So you just see like 3 little, psh, 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 little sparks.
Yeah, I'll work my gear and do the same thing.
Very well. So Ezra and Jacob and Ethan. Ethan, you're already in the tower for the night. That's cozy. Ezra and Jacob, what are you two doing while Tanner and Von Felt watch the road?
I assume Ezra would have helped clean up, and then she's just sitting back, leaning against the wheel of the cart with her feet up. Again, just content. Things are not complicated anymore.
Jacob's making a bedroll under the cart, which is probably going to be the driest spot, and comes out and sits with Ezra for a bit, offers some pipe weed and pipe, and passes a flask of some brandy over as well. It's been a good night.
I'll take the flask, but not the weed.
There you go. So what do you make of what we have to do now? Spying on the good people of Leilon.
I'm just gonna hope it's not gonna be a weird snake cult or something. I just want a nice simple job, no complicated politics, no. Yeah, I
Well,
missed being on the road.
it's complicated politics when we're doing work for the lordship who doesn't clearly trust the entirety of the people he's entrusted Leilon to.
Well, he's smart at least. Never trust people, especially the people that you're paying.
Well,
Or
He's
pay
also-
you.
he's also a bit of a scamp.
That's a nice way of putting it. I think fucking arsehole is the right word.
That always happens at that level, but he did try to abscond with $500,000 gold in Waterdeep, so it's left his son out hanging out to dry. He still cares about him, obviously, but we got that all sorted out a while back. That's what I left Waterdeep on after I went to Vandalin. So I'm familiar with some of the goings on of what our dear Lord Neverember did in Waterdeep before he left a little too quick.
Sounds about right from what I've heard anyway, so I've never had much to do with the man. I didn't spend a lot of time in Waterdeep. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, well, he was the Open Lord for a while, so not a small position, and I like what he's doing with the Neverwinter and the nearby towns and expanding his interests. I think it's not a bad thing, because then folk about get to learn some safety and security instead of just living on the wilds.
True.
You know much about Leilon? What happened to it? I heard it was a bit of a bustling town on the trade routes on the coast before things happened.
Not really, no. Everybody hears the stories, but what I've heard is usually said by someone who's in the cups.
I heard tell of a wizard tower. It was at the heart of some of it. I don't know quite the details. Just heard that it became a problem, and a problem that was then reversed by force.
Wizards always cause problems. But they make decent clients when they don't try to kill you. And Ezra just kind of look up that tower and shudder.
We can fix that, you know.
How do you suggest that?
It's magic. He rubs his fingers together and lets a little sparkly spark come off his fingertips. I think that would probably not go over well with Lord Ethan, but
Let's.
it's magic.
I'll wake you up at I'm taking last watch. I'll wake you up then. Dispel that fucker.
I'll do what I can.
Ezra's had a little bit too much brandy. And she's gonna get up, scramble up on top of the cart and just go to sleep. Until somebody wakes her up.
Sleep well.
Good night.
And Jacob hits his bedroll and starts snoring.
Okay, so Tanner and Von Felt pass an uneventful watch. With the number of people and the lack of interest in keeping watch from Ethan, the party is forced to split the watch into 2 watches, with essentially 5 people there watching. Well, 4 without Ethan. So Tanner will come back to camp and rouse Ezra and Jacob. I assume Von Felt probably comes right back at the agreed upon time. And Jacob and Ezra are now up for watch. And they, Tanner says, gosh, nothing at my end. It was very quiet. Didn't see a thing. Didn't hear a thing. All quiet.
Yep, same. Now it's getting too dark for my eyes, so.
Yeah. All right. See you in a few hours. Is it safe to assume that everybody's going to set the watches so that you get your 6 hours of long rest? One way or the other? Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Except for Ethan, who's been laid awake all night with a racking headache, unable to complete a long rest. Gosh, how unfortunate is that? Must be the chemical he used to clean the carpets in his tower. All right, so aside from the off breeze that rustles a bit of grass here and there, it is a quiet night for Jacob and Ezralyn. And so we're going to flash forward to the first rays of dawn in the eastern sky as your evening has passed uneventfully.
Ezra's gonna hop down off and just poke at Jacob. Hit the tower. Go. She
All
actually
right.
remembered.
I am going to cast dispel magic on the tower. Let's see what happens. It's 3rd level against 3rd level. It should dispel automatically.
Wow. Let's check that out, shall we? Dispel magic, you say, eh?
Indeed.
Spell of 3rd level or lower. What level is your tower thingy? 3rd?
It's 96th level.
Okay, so 3rd level.
No, it's a 3rd level spell.
So what happens when your tower is dispelled? Do you just kind of fall on the ground?
Everything that is in the tower disappears, and anything that is not of the tower, like me, would just be on the ground where it is.
Nice. Yeah, so all at once the tower vanishes and you see Ethan. I assume you're still asleep.
Well, if it's morning,
Yeah.
depends when he does it, I guess.
We'll start with a revel using thaumaturgy.
Little reveille. Nice.
Yes.
But when the tower disappears, Ethan will say, "Well, it looks like we're ready to go," and he'll just walk towards his horse.
All right. Ezra look disgruntled and just get her shit together, please.
So quick cold breakfast and on the road it is.
Yeah.
You know that if you press today, you can be to the intersection of Tribord Trail and the high road and the warmth and comfort of the Wayside Inn.
Press.
It'll be after nightfall when you arrive, but it'll beat sleeping on the cold, hard ground.
Yeah.
If you're inclined to do that.
How do we do we need to protect the carriage at the inn?
What could go wrong?
Yeah, right. That sounds fine. Yeah. All right.
The inn probably has a stable of some kind that we could probably put it in.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, it won't.
Maybe not.
I guess you could
Yeah.
pull it into the stable. They'd probably charge for that extra just because, stable space is there's only so much. But the wagon would fit in the stable. I'm looking at the map, and that could work.
Cool. Like a 2-guy garage.
Yeah. Well, it's either that or offload it, put it in storage, load it back on the next day. It just sounds like a lot of work.
No.
We need something like a really strong dwarf to handle something like that.
Yeah. So we hustle to get there. That's the
Push
Yeah.
on, yes.
yeah. All right. So if we have to move at a faster pace, that's whatever. I'm with that. With that anyway.
Yeah, it won't be any kind of breakneck exhaustion pace. Just, you don't want to stop and lollygag and take 2-3 hour naps or anything like that. But just press southward and you'll be there. It'll be well past dark, but it won't be middle of the night.
Well, what about second breakfast?
Ooh.
Womp, 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 womp.
Happy Hobbit Day, people.
Tanner offers to ride ahead today. Stretch his horse out a little bit. Make some perception rolls. Rides back. Doesn't see anything. The road is empty. Almost eerily so. About late morning, you do come upon the scene of the wagon spill and the battle with the Ogrelons and bugbears. Nothing has changed. The corpses are still drug well off the road, as indicated by the smell and the swarms of flies. Because it has been probably about 4 days, however long we were in Neverwinter, one night, right?
Yeah.
So basically an overnight and then a night, 2 nights, 3 nights. Okay, so it was like 4 days ago that you were last here.
See where I lined up that kill shot from downtown. See if I can get back into that mindset. Just in case it happens again.
That long bugbear captain kill shot. Yeah, that was a long shot too.
It was a good shot.
Pretty impressive. Yeah, but aside from that, you just see no sign of anything on the road. It is quiet.
That's good. Oh. I'm gonna ride a little ahead.
Okay.
Until for the majority of today.
Okay. Tanner will probably accompany you a couple of the times just to stretch the horse out, or he may even ride back to see if anything or anyone is trailing the party.
Sure.
But on each of his jaunts outward from the wagon proper, he sees and hears nothing out of the ordinary.
I'm gonna see if I can. I know the range on my bow of warning is only 30 feet, but I'm just gonna kind of wander. Maybe I'll run into something, maybe not.
Okay.
Safety first.
Zigzag.
Safety first. Yeah. Roll perception.
I really need to do something about that. My perception's 5, and I keep rolling like 3s. So 13.
Okay. Yeah, the only thing you really notice of any interest there are a couple of spots where you see what looks like something has maybe crossed the road. You see a trail coming from one side of the grass going across the other. You would assume probably some sort of game, maybe deer or elk, something like that. But nothing really, no signs of any campfires, staging of anything. Just kind of a quiet trip down the high road, which is, exactly what you'd hoped for.
All right. That news is good news, I guess.
Yeah. So the party heads southward. Pretty quiet. It's another kind of same, second verse, same as the first as far as the weather's concerned. It's not quite as breezy, but it's, 78, partly sunny, just a nice, late summer day. Sun sets toward the Sea of Swords to the west, and it's been an uneventful day. I assume you're just going to make for the inn rather than stop and eat or just eat along the way.
Eat on the way.
I'm eating this whole time.
Yeah, that's right. You've always got pockets full of edibles. Nice. Okay, so it's been a quiet day. The sun sets, and you make your way southward, and before long you see the lights in the windows of the Wayside Inn. If you recall, the building sets on the northeast corner of the intersection of the Tribor Trail, which tees into the high road, and the Tribor Trail enters from your left or the east as you're headed south down the high road. If you recall, the building was sort of trapezoidal shaped. It was narrower at the south end and wider at the north end to accommodate the stables on the back half of the property. And if you remember, there's also a little smithy on the back half of the property, that rather large, strapping young woman named Tiga with the cool dolphin tattoos, or lightning tattoos on her forearms and the dolphin-shaped anvil. The entry to the building is this little box vestibule on the northwest corner that faces out toward the road. The stable entrance is on the north face of the building, east of the main entrance. And you see that the stable doors are open. You only know that because of the size of the light, shape of the doors coming from inside the stable. And you can see where the light is shining out of the windows that face the high road, like the little beams of light, the rectangles on the ground from the light. And as you get within maybe 100 feet, you hear banging and pounding and scratching and all sorts of kerfuffleness as you approach. And is anyone running a light source or using dark vision, anything along those lines?
Well, Jacob will have flipped his goggles on and use dark vision.
Okay. No, Tanner has dark vision up to 60 feet. Ezra, you have dark vision, don't you?
Yeah.
Ethan, do you have a means by which you want to see? You're going to use a little light?
Well, I am going to... What am I going to do? I don't know. I am going to use...
Lightning bolt every 100 feet.
You guess light on an arrow, and I can put it anywhere you want.
I'm going to use my staff and the gem on top of it, and I'm going to use True Sight.
Okay.
Which allows me to see in normal and magical darkness, see invisible creatures and objects, automatically detect visual illusions, and succeed on saving throws against them. I'm sure there'll be no need for that. And perceive the original form of a shape changer or creature that is transformed by magic. Furthermore, I can see into the ethereal plane within the same range.
Nice. What is that range?
That's a great question.
10 feet.
10 feet, yeah.
It's out to 120 feet.
So it's nearsightedness true vision. Yeah, so as you get close to the inn, Ethan, you'll be interested to know, you hear this banging and crashing. You see three rather large figures who appear to be attacking the building itself, trying to come in the front door, pounding and banging. A rather disturbing sight. And by large, I mean, 12, 13 feet tall, rather hulking, not particularly fit. It's hard to make out details. Looks like they have some large weapon-ish in their hands, and they're pounding and slamming against the building itself.
Ethan's going to say, there's 3 outer-shaped giants attacking the inn.
Oh, my.
They're not invisible or... I can just see them.
You see them because they're corporeal form, big old... It's hard telling what they are or what they look like just because of the darkness, but they look like they almost blend into the darkness, like they're a lighter shade of darkness. They don't move very dexterously, kind of stumbly and herky-jerky, just really odd what the scene is before you. But you hear the pounding and crashing, the splintering of wood, the breaking of what must have been the glass that was in the entryway doors.
But they're humanoid shaped,
Yeah.
meaning they've got arms and
bipedal with very thick, muscular, bulky arms. Yeah, it's a horrifying visage for sure.
Ezra's gonna stand up on the wagon from the driver's seat. How far away are we?
Ethan would have noticed this at about 120 feet.
We're gonna. Never mind. Ezra's gonna sit on the bench for a little bit longer so we can get a bit closer and see what's going on.
That'll be fine.
Okay.
I'll keep watching them to make sure they, to see if they turn, look in our direction, or if they're still focused on breaking into the inn, or what they're doing.
Would they be lit by any light source from the inn?
No, because they are blocked by the entrance. Remember, there's that little vestibule where you would come in the door and you'd cross this. Let me give you the dimensions of that vestibule. It's basically 15 wide by 10 deep, and it's like double doors, and then you go across the vestibule into the single door, and it's set at an angle across the northwest corner of the building, and then you would get into the tap room proper. Hey, QBD, thank you for that DM advantage. I will put that to good use. Thank you, my friend.
All right, so I'll stick with Tanner.
Seems like we should send Tanner in.
Yeah, maybe. I can cover him if he wants to get close.
Nice. Okay, so are you guys advancing?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to advance slower than they do.
So behind the wagon?
Well, I'm going to keep my eye on the giant creatures, but I'm just going to let them, lead the way.
Of course. Ezra's going to look at Ethan and say, stay with the wagon. Keep an eye on it. Don't let them run away, okay?
I'm certain I'll stay with the wagon.
Yeah, well, if somebody tries to kill me, try and stop it, okay?
You know I always have your back.
I'm sure you do. Sword is still doing okay. And she'll unsheath her sword, or the fire one. I can't remember if she has the other one or not. And she won't light it, but she'll quietly move forward behind the rest because she's loud. So.
And Ethan will keep watching the giants to see if they, notice us or turn to look in our direction.
Right. How close do you intend to pilot the wagon, Ezralyn?
Probably between 180 feet out.
Okay.
And it's at a crawl pace just to get it forward enough that if we need to run to it, we can.
Yeah, so the only person who can really see what's happening at this point is Ethan, and the assault on the Wayside Inn continues with these three large brutes. Looks like maybe they have like really big morning stars, some kind of spiky thing on a big stick. Yeah. And you can hear the splintering and cracking of wood now. Everybody can kind of hear what's going on.
Are they smaller than the creatures we fought 4 days ago, 4 or 5 days ago, the ogre lions?
They look a little bigger.
They look bigger than that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
As Ezralyn is approaching, am I going to do that? Can I do that? Yeah, I can do that. I'm going to message Ezralyn and say, they still haven't seen you.
Roger that. Joel's going to whisper it.
Okay. What would you like to do, party?
Party.
Jacob's moving up stealthily with Ezralyn.
Okay. Y'all are parked about 90 feet out right now with the wagon.
But Jacob's going to move further and faster ahead than that.
Okay.
There's a plan.
Ezra's moving forward, but like I said, she's keeping it in the back as much as possible. So because the fact that like she's wearing loud armor, so she's just kind of like slowly creeping.
Okay. You all going to try and stealth then? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yep.
Let's break out the polyhedrals and roll me a d20 stealth.
Kiddo.
Ezra rolls a 4.
24 for Jacob.
23, Vonfeld.
None of these other rolls really matter.
That's okay. This will all work out.
It'll
Okay.
be fine.
So Ezra, you're pretty loud. You kick a stone. Your armor clinks and clanks. How far in are you coming?
As soon as she starts making noise, she's not coming much farther in.
Can I hear her? While
Oh
she's-
yeah.
I'm gonna message her again and say you're being fairly loud.
I know. The road's uneven, okay? I can't see all the ruts. Ezra doesn't know that I don't think she knows that Ethan can hear her. She's just kind of talking to herself.
Being a additional stealthiness. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Adding to it.
Yeah.
Prior to leaving the wagon, I would have told Bunfelt, I'm going to light one of them up. Get ready.
Okay.
You got it.
How
Goes out.
how far forward, and are you bringing the wagon?
Forward. Well, the wagon's doing whatever Ezra wants it to because she's the lord of the wagon, or lady of the wagon, I guess.
Did you leave the wagon, Kayla? Is that what you said? That you had
We
left it?
the wagon about between 80 and 90 feet out, I think, and in Ethan's care.
Right, and I'm gonna stay back with the wagon, but I'm watching these critters still.
Okay. So Ethan, you're with the wagon. The party is stealthing forward rather unsuccessfully. So 80 feet, 70 feet. Still going? 60
at
feet forward?
At 60 feet, what can Jacob see with his goggles of night?
Sure, yeah. You see the scene I described. 3 rather large, brutish forms beating and pounding, assailing the front of the Wayside Inn with large, like taller than you, large morning stars, spiky, iron rusted, caps on the end of, essentially big tree limbs that have been, cut down.
Awesome. So once they hit 60 feet and Jacob can see them, he's going to try to assess which one looks like the leader. And I'm going to hit him with a guiding bolt.
Very good. Roll your guiding boltedness, please.
Aye, Captain.
Your best estimation, there doesn't appear to be a leader. They're sort of scantily clad, and by that I mean like most of a loincloth. One might have a bracer, another one might have a hide. It looks like there might even be some things protruding from their torsos, like they've something, I don't know, it's like, I don't know, another arm or what that is. It's hard to tell in the shadows. Everything's kind of grayscale. How did you do on your guiding bolt?
So a total of 19 hit.
I have a shot ready to go because I wanted to team up with his shot. I don't know if we can do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I told you before I left that I was going to
Yeah, no, that's fine. If you want to have a held
yeah.
action and the trigger would be Jacob's attack. Okay, Jacob, you said what now? I'm sorry.
19 to hit.
A 19 to hit. Where's my to hit paper? Yeah,
I
that
wonder if
hits.
they're unpaid exotic dancers.
Ooh.
And that extra bit is the pole that they're trying to dance on.
So that's what I'm saying.
So your guiding bolt hits one.
Did bring money.
What sort of damage does that?
That is a total of 18 damage, and it is now brightly lit up. Van Felt has advantage on the next attack.
And brightly lit, that catches fire, or it's just this radiant luminescence until the attack is made?
It's a mystical dim glittering on the target.
Nice. Yeah, so you see when this happens, the glittery, almost like fairy fire, but it's not an outline, like the whole thing. You see grayish, pallid skin, mostly covering it. There are places where the skin is gone, and you see maybe ribs or entrails kind of hanging out. It looks like maybe one or two of them have weapons protruding from their torso, like a spear or a sword. They have long, pointy ears. They're pretty much hairless. Very, very big knotted muscles. And the one that you hit turns around, and they all turn around slowly and kind of groan and roar and face you. Von Felt, it is your attack.
All right. I'm going to target the one Jacob hit. I'm going to use my sharpshooter. Just go try to see if I can bury one right in whatever skull this thing has. So I'll take a -5. And, let's see here. First one's a 22.
Yeah, that hits.
I'll reroll this.
Are you targeting the one that Jacob hit?
Yep.
Okay.
So sharpshooter damage. I rolled a 1, so I'm going to reroll that per piercer. 8. Yeah, roll 2. Okay. So 7 damage plus 10, 17 damage.
17 damage total from your attacks?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, and it howls and groans and moans as you bury 2 arrows into its side.
Oh, I just rolled 1. I
Or
just
one,
attack.
sorry. Okay, sorry. It is still up without question. And by the way, we're going to try to give away a couple of entry badges for Virtual Greyhawk Con, so that entry is open. Type ! Giveaway if you wish to win. That will give you access to play in any of the cool Greyhawk games, and that is 2 weekends from... No, what is it? A week from this? Okay, it's October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Let's just say that. Okay, do you wish to fire a second arrow?
Yeah, let's do it. Sure.
Cool.
I'll just make this a regular attack. And, that was close. 24. Damage of 11 total.
Okay, 11. Same one. Yeah, so yeah. It's not really bleeding. One of the arrows vanished into it entirely because where you happened to hit it, there was no skin and it just vanished into its entrails. The other one's sticking out of its chest and it just starts to slowly advance. Kind of growl, groaning. Ugh. And as this all happens, the doors, double doors behind them explode. Blow outward, shards of metal window framing, glass bits, wood, and in the illuminated doorway you see the silhouette of what appears to be maybe a dwarfness-ish, and behind it, backlit, is another blown out door, half hanging from its hinge, and you see the silhouetted forms of kind of humanoids hunkered down, and so, go, Iode.
Basically, I'm going to scream in Orcish and rush at them with my great axe.
Okay. The one in the center, there's 3 of them that were assailing the front, and you have a back view of these 3 really big-ass dudes. You recognize them as what appear to be ogres. But they don't look right, man. They're gray and lifeless, colorless. They stink to hell. I mean, worse than an ogre would stink. They smell like dead ogres, like bad. And the one in front of you actually appears to have been burnt, or Dave. Lost my train of thought. And appears to be injured. So you have your choice to attack any of the 3. Oh, Dave.
I'm going to, let's see. Before I make an attack, I'm going to do Great Weapon Mastery. So I'm going to take a penalty of -5 so I can roll an additional d10 of damage.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
So we're going to see if this works.
It's the battle axe equivalent of sharpshooter.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
Shit. That's a 3, but I'm gonna use my second attack and try it again. Come on. God damn it. That's gonna be a 9. It's not gonna do anything.
9 hits.
Oh, 9 hits.
These guys got
Sweet.
no armor. You know, a couple of them got rags around their feet, rotted, you know, maybe what used to be trousers. None of them have shirts. They are nasty-looking things.
And this one's gonna take 23 damage.
Holy shizzle. And that was the middle one?
Yeah.
All right, so in your initial attacks, you have dealt as a party 69 damages.
Nice.
Yeah, so, and he's still up. So I'm going to ask everyone to please, if you would, roll initiative.
Before we do that, I'm going to message Ezralin one more time and say, Jacob and Von Feld have given away our position.
Wiley, has Ezra seen enough to know that Ethan's wrong?
Oh, yeah, you can see clearly what's going on.
Okay, she'll just sigh again. And
All right, let's do the initiative game, kids. 25 to 20, anybody up there? 20 to 15.
Ooh. No.
Okay, so 15 to 10.
12. Von Folks.
well, for Ezra,
Ethan's got a 12.
So 3 12s, and Jacob, what did you say?
You haven't gotten there yet.
Oh, okay, I thought I heard Jacob.
No, I
Iode?
said 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, is it Iode or Eode?
It's Iode.
Iode.
Such a cool
13.
name.
Okay, Von Felt, Ezra, and Ethan, what are your dexterities?
20.
13.
13.
Ethan can go first.
Okay.
I can't do anything, so
Tanner.
it doesn't matter.
Tanner goes after Von Felt. He was the fourth 12. Ethan
Why?
and Ezra. Jake?
8.
8. Okay. It is now Iode's turn.
All right, I'm gonna do axe attack again, and I think I'm just gonna keep it regular this time.
Okay.
All right. So that's 18 to hit
That'll do it.
for 13 damage.
13 damage it is. Nice. So yeah, you've opened up a couple of huge slices across the back of this beast, and he just like and turns around. And when he sees that you're a dwarf, man, if his eyes could glow red, they would. I mean, he lets out a groaning bellow, just pure rage when he sees you.
I'm gonna
Or it
bellow
sees you.
back and do my second attack.
Okay.
So that's gonna be an 18 to hit.
That'll do it.
And 14 damage.
All right. So what does it look like when you lay low this giant ogre type dude?
Well, when he screams at me, I'm gonna scream back, but in like a mocking manner, and just like smash down my axe on one of his feet. But when I pull it up, it's gonna just slice through his entire body, cutting
Nice.
him in half.
Yeah, and as that happens, his body empties all of its entrails and black ichor all over, and you're spattered, and I won't say covered, but you're nicely splashed with deceased ogre ichor. It has a short sword in its side, and when it falls right on the short sword, and it sticks up out of his back as it lays there, and the air evacuates its body, and it is almost unbearably stenchy.
And since I knocked an enemy down to 0 HP, I get a bonus attack.
Nice. That's exciting.
So I'm gonna turn to the one next to it and just wink and go for another
Okay,
attack.
its back is to you as its attention was drawn by the
Oh.
flash of light and
So
the
it didn't
arrows.
see my flirty wink? Okay. 24 to hit.
That'll hit.
And 15 damage.
Okay. Yeah, so you open up a slice across the back of its right thigh, slicing a hamstring, and black ooze runs down the back of its leg, and it seems unfazed. It's starting to move, away from you, and it is to the point where you can take movement.
All right. Can I rush into him, use my movement to tackle him, or is that an action?
That'd be an action. That'd be kind of like grapple. Yeah. I mean, you can move, but I mean, this dude is 3 times your height and probably 4 times your weight.
I'm gonna try to
with a 19 strength.
I'm gonna try to hop over the guy I just knocked down.
Yeah, you can climb over him. Yeah.
To get in front of them.
Okay.
And do I see the rest of the party?
So you can climb over the deceased creature, and I'm gonna have that be about half your movement. It's kind of like difficult terrain because again, you're about a 4-foot 2-inch dwarf. This is probably a 650-pound, 12-foot tall beast. Probably 800-pound dude. So it's a bit of a task climbing over him, and you can get about 10 feet in front of these guys. But as you clear the thing, you see a group of folks approaching that eerily match the description of Tanner, Von Felt, Esserlin, Jacob, and then there's this spindly, skinny kid back there with a wagon, huddling fearfully in a robe.
I'm gonna just look at him and be like, "Don't just stand there, do something."
Well, let's get to that, shall we? Von Felt, you just see this dwarf emerge after cutting down one of these beasts. I would say that Von Felt, Ezra, and Jacob recognize these as artists formerly known as ogres. They're ogres, but they're not ogres. There's something definitely not right about these ogres.
All right. So we have someone innately, so I guess it's time to get to work. So, I will sharpshooter let's see, I guess. So I imagine that our dwarf friend is now between us and the advancing
Iode is between you and one of the ogres. There were kind of 3 of them.
Yeah.
Spread apart, picture large, 800-pound, 12, 13 foot tall. So they're not all within the same 5-foot square.
Right.
So you have a clear shot to, actually either one of them if you want to shoot above Iode's head, because Iode is only a third of the height of these as a dwarf.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll take the one closest.
Do I count as half cover?
Yeah, no. There's a lot of him exposed, and he is. Looks like he's got a leg injury of some kind because he's walking even more stiffly and strangely than they were already walking.
All right. So first shot with sharpshooter. I rolled a 2. I got a 7.
That is not going to do it, I'm afraid.
All right.
So your arrow whizzes by. It doesn't even flinch.
Yeah. Try being too fancy. Try it one more time. Oh, got a 4 this time. That's a 9.
That'll hit. I mean, they're practically naked, so.
All right, damage of 19.
19 damage. Okay, and you're shooting at the one that's closest to the dwarf, right?
Yep. I'm also aiming for that leg.
Okay.
Just for effect.
Yeah, that would be tough just because that's down in where the dwarf is.
Oh, sure then.
Yeah.
All right.
So you
pop
an arrow into its chest, thunk, and it just keeps coming. You see this arrow, Iode, come in over your head and bury to the fletching in the chest of this thing, and it just kind of has this blank stare, except it's noticed you, and it snarls. It's drooling, smells. It's got flies around it. It smells worse than rancid meat that's been left in the sun for a week. It's just nasty. It's got bugs coming out of it. It has a spear stuck in its side. And it is now Tanner Seawalker's turn.
Reminds me of my mother-in-law.
Right? Yeah, and so he's going to use his bracers of flying daggers. Let's see something here real quick. Is that equipped? Why is it not showing up in actions? +7. Oh, he's got to be a lot closer for that, I think.
20 feet.
Yeah, it doesn't give a range on those.
It's the same
Same as a
same
thrown
stat as a
dagger?
dagger. No,
Okay.
2060.
So 2060. All right, so he's going to fire both of those. They'll be at disadvantage, but he is definitely going to do that. And 6th level rogue. Okay. First one hits. Second one hits. Gotta love low armor classes. So pew pew. 2 of these dagger energy bolts. And he's going to ride forward on his horse and get to about 15 feet. Now that I think about it. But even at disadvantage, he hit. So that was 7 and 5, 12 damage. He saw the arrow go in, so he's just going to hit the same one that Von Felt just put an arrow into. And then he's going to hold at about 15 feet. So you hear this, dwarf, you hear this horse ride up behind you by about 5 feet and stop. And then from above your head come these 2 bolts shaped like daggers and blast into this guy. It is now Ethan's turn. What will you do from cowering behind the wagon?
So there's 2 of them still up.
Yeah.
And
they're lumbering in the direction of the party. There's a dwarf almost in melee with one, and there is the other one has nobody near it.
my lightning bolt has 100-foot range. Do I think I can safely shoot that if I aim high to where the giants are? I don't want to hit my party members. It has a 5-foot range, but if I aim high,
you could actually, because the dwarf is probably about 4'1", 4'2". I didn't look on your character sheet, Iode.
I think she's kind of tall for a dwarf at like 4'7".
Okay, but these guys are 12, 13 feet tall, so you could easily go for shoulders on the one that's in front of the dwarf, or you could very easily unimpeded hit the one that hasn't been hit yet.
I'm gonna go for the one that's been hit, and I'm gonna cast lightning bolt. And he gets a save, but I'm gonna give him his save. I'm gonna give him a 13 on the roll. I have a DC 15, so you can add whatever bonuses to dexterity it has.
It has a -2.
I thought it probably did.
Yeah, so it fails its save. So what kind of electrical damage are we talking here?
I gave it 30 points of electrical damage.
Yeah, so Iode, as you're standing there, all this stuff's happening, right? Beep, 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 beep. The arrow comes in. All at once, this huge electrical energy comes over the top of you. Your hair just... Anything you have metallic touching your flesh gives you is just everything crackles and wham! This huge explosion of lightning blasts this thing right in the chest. And you thought the smell couldn't possibly be worse until it was electrocuted and electrically burned. And so you have like maggots and worms and things just abandoning ship as this thing gets electrocuted, right? Remember the scene in Lord of the Rings when the Nazgul on the dark mounts stop on the road above the hobbits in the ditch and all the little, sorry, Kayla, come out of the ground? Yeah, it's kind of like exiting the body of this ogre as the lightning just crisps it. And it just kind of, and then it snarls and looks at you. Anything else, Ethan?
Oh, crap. Who's cowering now? No, that's all I got.
Okay. Ezra, you're about 60 or so feet out, and it is your turn.
All right, who's they're still up?
They're both still up. One of them is looking, it's got an arrow pounded into it. It got zapped with a couple of Tanner's energy daggers from the bracers. It just got freaking electrocuted, and it's looking bad, but it's still up, and it's raising its morning star to end this dwarf that just showed up.
All right. Yeah, I can't do anything. Double check my sheet that I just closed.
Oh,
But Ezra's
That's a
gonna
shame.
use a bonus action to light up the sword, her flame tongue sword,
yeah.
and then she's going to raise it in a threatening way and dash.
Okay,
Should
so
be
double
a
move.
round.
That'll get you to melee with either of them, but not both of them because they're far enough apart. So, would you like to approach the one with the dwarf or the unscathed one?
Oh, she's gonna go after the one with the dwarf.
Okay, so Iode, all at once, a large, muscular woman appears
Wow.
beside you, runs up beside you. Ezralyn, feel free to RP or whatever.
I got nothing all of a sudden.
Iode's just gonna be like, "You are just my type. Thank you."
It's just gonna look slightly confused for a second and then try and hit it. But I technically used my action
Right.
there, so
Yeah, so you see
prepare to hit.
carrying a flaming sword, strike a rather imposing visage, dash up beside you, about to engage with this ogre. You did hear the dwarf scream for glory and gore when she exited the building so delicately, but it was in Orcish, so that's cool, right? All right, Jacob, you're 60 feet out, my short friend.
Uh, 60 feet. No, it would have been. Yeah, it would have been 60 feet. Yes, you're right. Sorry, I had a plan, and the plan went away. Just a moment.
You're fine. Everything's fine.
Did the plan not account for a dwarf exploding out of a door?
Something like that.
Andrew, thank you for that gift sub. Gideon, you just got a gift sub
Ooh,
from Fellowship of the Tables.
Odenko.
Nice. All right, I am going to use my movement to move up 30 feet, and in doing so, I'm going to try to be relatively sneaky. But as I get to the range that I want to get to, I am going to. Yeah, I'll move up 30 feet, and when I get up there, this may be. No, that's not going to work. Sorry. Well, yeah, I'll make it work. I'm going to move up 30 feet and sort of try to be out of sight as possible. I'm going to invoke duplicity to put my illusory duplicate between the two creatures.
Okay, like walking abreast with them?
Yeah, and I'm going to use my bonus action to invoke spiritual weapon and attack.
Okay.
So
Goodness, that was a lot. So all of a sudden, you see a halfling manifest itself in between the two ogres, Iode and Ezra. And oddly enough, it's Jacob. And then I believe it's a dagger, your spiritual
Yes.
weapon?
a night black dagger appears.
So all you really get is the glimmer of the blade, because again, it is dark. Yeah. Any gas lamps that may have been, or oil lamps, I should say, that may have been lit, marking the entrance to the inn, have been smashed. So it's dark.
Yeah. So I rolled a 19 to hit,
That'll hit.
and oh, nice, that's max damage. So that's a total of 12 damage to an attention-getting part of the zombie that has, or zombie. I assume they're zombies because they sound like it. That is not damaged and trying to
Okay.
get its attention to me.
Yeah. And is it the illusory one that's doing this? Oh, no, it's a spiritual weapon.
It's a spiritual weapon. I'm trying to make it look as much as possible that the spiritual weapon is working in conjunction with the illusion.
Okay. Roll Arcana.
Arcana.
Yeah.
Not performance?
Nah, because you're wielding magic.
True. That's an 18.
Okay, yeah, it looks reasonably like you see Ezra and Ioti. You see Jacob just all of a sudden grab this dagger that manifests out of thin air, but it's really about here above his fist. And then all of a sudden the illusion kind of jerks and stabs the thing. And it howls and growls, and some black ichor begins to flow from its side.
And my overall goal is to draw attention, much like that scene where Kay wants to get his gun back, so he says, "Eat me," except it's using
eat me. Yeah, in Men in Black. Yeah, I got you.
Men in Black.
Yeah, now this thing kind of looks down, and it's kind of duh. Anything else?
No, that is my movement, my action, my bonus action. So that's I'm good.
Okay.
That's one of my challenges.
We are to the creatures now. All right. So the one in front of Ioti raises its morning star and growls. Does that sound menacing? And I'm going to use a DM advantage. Thank you, Qbitty. And it rolls a... Let's see how we did here. It rolls a 18.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Nice. It steps forward right into your space. And just two-fisted brings down this huge morning star on top of you. And it's just a darn good thing I used advantage or I wouldn't have hit. 13 bludgeoning as this heavy morning star bashes down upon you. Hey, another DM advantage. Thank you, Andrew. Woo! Y'all burning them long bottom leaves. The other one turns and looks at Jacob standing next to it, wielding sort of a dagger, and growls and raises its morning star, and swings down upon the halfling, crushing it to the ground. Except what happens when the illusion gets hit?
Passes right through.
Okay. And it kind of buries the head of the morning star into the ground with a vicious hit. Much to your horror, Ezralyn. And then you look and the halfling is still standing there, waving. It is Ioti's turn.
Well, that was interesting. Is he with you? Like, Ioti's just gonna look at Ezra, very confused.
Yep, one of mine.
Duly noted. And I'm gonna try and attack. I'm gonna chop, hopefully at where the halfling that's not really there just stabbed this guy. We'll see. Ooh, 23 to hit.
Which one are you swinging at? The one that's
The
right
one
in front
that-
of you, or the
Yeah,
one
the
that
one
just...
that. Well, didn't
One
Jacob
hit you and
technically
one...
stab the one that's in front of me?
No, he stabbed the other one.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'm gonna stab the one in front of me. Or
Okay.
Slash at the one.
Yeah,
in front
good.
of me.
Okay, so 23 hits.
For 11 damage.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna attack it once more, but I'm gonna do the Great Axe deficit thing. So it's gonna be a 10 to hit.
That also hits.
Yay! So it takes a grand total of 19 damage.
All right, so describe for me how you dispatch the second of these giant ogre-esque...
I'm gonna basically hack at it like a tree, like taking a wedge out of its leg, so that it falls preferably onto the other ogre, Well, screaming timber.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, so it falls in the direction of the other ogre. It may hit him, but it's not going to really have much of an impact. I mean, there's plenty of space between them, enough for a little halfling and then some. So this guy can just kind of, pretty cool though. Nice effect. So it drops, and the parasites and things that were slowly devouring it from the inside out still continue to evacuate. And it is your move if you wish to move.
Because I took a creature down to 0, I get the bonus attack.
Yes, you do.
So I'm going to attack the other dude.
Yeah, you'll have to move about probably 10 feet or so.
Works for me.
All right.
25 to hit.
That'll do it.
God, I missed playing a barbarian. And that's going to take 9 damage.
Okay. So you open up a slice across its hip, dropping its loincloth harmlessly to the dirt. And I'm going to ask the party to roll perception as we move on to Von Felt's turn.
I have an 8.
And
8 perception.
Ethan got a 14.
Okay.
I already got a 2.
Ezra?
8.
Okay. Very good. Okay. It is Von Felt's turn.
All right. Well, I'm a little upset I missed before, so I guess it's gonna crack my neck and get a better shot in there using sharpshooter. So -5. Total of 21.
That'll hit.
Damage of 21.
Yeah. So ouchie, man, that's a hell of an arrow. Okay, so you bury that thing past the fletching. It vanishes in the gray, pallid skin of this, what appears to be a zombified ogre.
More undead. I'm going to go for the head on this one. Sharpshooter. Total of 19 to hit.
That'll do it.
Damage of another 21.
Jesus. That's insane. 20,
Angry because I missed.
42 points of damage with arrows.
Wow.
Hence the term champion.
Yeah.
Anything else, Von Felt?
I'm just gonna start moving closer and more. We'll say I was moving as I was shooting, just being aggressive on the target. So, bring up the rear.
Okay.
30 feet.
All right. So moving into 30 feet. We are up to Tanner Seabiscuit.
Philo is funny.
All right. I'm doing some research. Huh. Okay. All right, so Tanner rides in on the horse, draws his rapier and attempts to stab the remaining ogre zombie, and if he hits, he's got an ally Iode there, so sneak attack damage would apply. And that is a 6 on the die. Plus 7 is 13. That is plenty. So D8 plus 4. What's a D8? There it is. So that's 7. And then, let's see. Sneak attack damage is an extra 3d6, which is nice because rogue. And that's 10 more. So 17 damage as he rides in and kind of flanks the ogre. And stabs at thee with Thoust rapier. Ethan. It's your turn.
Um, I am going to. I'm going to cast another. Am I going to do that?
You do have a mounted half elf right there.
Not one I like very much, though. I think what I'm going to do, I'm still back at the wagon.
Yeah, you're 90 feet.
Yeah. Excuse me. I'm going to make sure with my true sight, I'm going to look around, make sure the wagon's safe.
Okay,
Nothing
roll
else
perception.
coming. Oh, I don't know where that is. I got an 18. Excuse me.
18. Okay, so as you look around the wagon, you see coming up the east side of the wagon, which as you're looking at it, since you are north end of the wagon, furthest away, to the left side of the wagon, you see a very dark, wispy hole in the darkness of night with some gray wisp around it. And you look again, you have your true sight, and it's this... It's hard to describe. It looks like it might have a crown upon its head. You see these glowing amber eyes that look nothing other than pure malice. Bony sort of hands that like phase in and out, that wisp like smoke as it rushes up the side of the wagon at you.
Is it in the ethereal plane or is it in our
No,
plane?
it's in our plane. Yeah.
How far away is it?
Probably about 15 feet and closing very quickly.
Was my looking around? That was my action. I take it.
Nah, no, you'd
wasn't
have an
my
action. Yeah, you can.
Great.
Yeah, its turn in the initiative order has not yet come, but it is moving
Yeah.
at you.
Okay. Now I'm going to lightning bolt that.
Okay.
And it gets a DC 15 dex save,
Okay.
which it will roll because I'm not going to give it one.
Okay. Sounds good. DC 15, you say?
Yes.
I have a 10, so I did not make my save.
Hooray! Wow. Nothing but consistent. It takes 30 electrical damage.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Yeah, so the electricity kind of plays around it and illuminates it. Sorry, whoops, we lost somebody. Illuminates it, and it's just incorporeal. It's more of a wisp and a body formed of smoke and dark energy. And its face is skeletal. It's got these bony skeletal hands as it's reaching for you.
Do I think I damaged it or no?
You're a little disappointed in maybe how much you damaged it because it doesn't
Okay.
seem to be as bothered by that as you had hoped.
Well, that's probably no good.
That's probably a drag right there, yeah.
Yeah.
Anything
that's no
else
good.
besides an impish teenage boy squeal?
I could still move. I take it.
You may still move. I think Gideon's interwebs must have checked out.
Yeah.
Computer crashed.
Yeah, we'll wait. They'll be back. It's fine.
I think I'm going to take my. I was 90 feet away from the combat. I'm going to backpedal my 30 feet towards them, the party, and the big scary guy, putting me 60 feet away from them.
Okay, what now?
I'm going to take my 30 feet of movement
Yeah.
and go back towards the party.
So forward toward the party is what you mean to say.
Yes.
Party advanced away from you, moving
I'm
forward.
thinking back because I turned around and zapped this thing. But
Well,
yes,
no, it was
towards the
coming
party.
at you from in front of you, so it was between you and the party.
Oh, it's
you
between me and
could,
the party.
You could go around the other side of the wagon to do that.
Oh, no, I don't want to run. No, I don't want to run towards it.
Okay.
I want to back away from it. I'll get further
So
away.
straight back 30 feet.
Yep.
Okay.
Hopefully the lightning bolt someone noticed. It's loud, I take it.
Yeah, you definitely, the rest of the party would have heard the crackle and the pop, the kind of the explosion of lightning over near the wagon. As, yeah, you definitely see that big flicker out of the corner of your eye, or sense it behind you more accurately. Okay. Excellent turn, Ethan. Ezra, you are about 10 feet away from the remaining ogre. Iote has rushed past you and hacked it after dropping the second ogre. Jacob is standing there kind of oddly flickering and just standing there. It's your turn. You're muted.
You're muted.
Is Jacob between myself and the ogre?
You'd have to run past him
Okay.
or through him.
Yeah, Ezra's gonna run past, so she's gonna put a hand down, see if it goes right through his head,
Oh, yeah.
and she'll come back up, grab the sword, and take a good try and take a good. Oh my God! Why won't my cats leave me alone? Take a good chunk out of that ogre. She's gonna hit 13 with one.
That'll hit.
That'll be 13. 13 slashing damage, and 6 fire damage. Use
So
the second
19.
shot.
All right, describe for me as your first pass with your flame tongue longsword ends this ogre zombie. How does it work exactly? How does that look?
It's about 14 feet tall.
Yeah, about 13. Yeah.
Okay, Ezra's 6 foot, so she's probably just gonna go right through the lower abdomen, just
Nice.
right through the hip bone.
Yeah.
Out through.
Deep slice, entrails pour out, black ichor everywhere, kind of spatters on you, and it falls in a meaty slap to the ground. And again, all manner of nasty things. You start to evacuate its re-deaded corpse. Okay, Jacob, you're up. You saw or heard more of the like, and probably caught a big flash behind you near the wagon. You're what, about 30 feet out yet, or did you stay 60 feet?
No, I was 30 feet away from the zombies.
Yeah, you moved in 30 feet and then did all your cool arcane things. Gotcha.
Yeah. What do I see behind me after Ethan's lightning bolt?
You gonna turn and look?
I will turn and look.
Roll
Yeah.
perception. You do see Ethan running rather hurriedly north.
Yet bravely.
Bravely hurriedly, yes.
21.
21. Okay, and you do see a hole in the night to the right side of the wagon, the east side of the wagon, and it looks like the hole is moving toward Ethan, and it looks roughly wispy, humanoid-ish, wispy, but it's not a body. But it looks like it's smoke trying to be a body. Or
Such
something.
a good
It's
description.
bizarre, man. It's just very wispy. You know, that you could make out hands and shoulders, and then that's gone, and then you see like a torso, and then that's gone, and then you see the shadow of what looks like maybe a crown or something on its head, and then that's gone.
Hole in the night. That's so good.
It's a
All right.
hole in the night.
A hole in the night, yes. Sorry, I just want to check something here. It's a bonus action. I'm going to use Invoke Duplicity, a bonus action, to move my illusion toward this hole of the darkness. While that's happening,
Okay, you know the wagon is about 90 feet from the illusion.
yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
How
So
much
it's just
movement does it have? 30 or 25?
It has 30 feet.
Okay.
Noticing that,
Is that a concentration by chance?
yes, it is.
Okay, so we'll just retcon that. You do have a spiritual weapon up.
It is not a concentration spell.
By it, you mean which one?
spiritual weapon.
Right. That's why I'm saying you have a spiritual. I'm not going to say your spiritual weapon didn't work.
No, but it's not concentration. So
But
it
you
wouldn't
can't
break.
cast a whole nother spell while concentrating, unless I'm misunderstanding something.
No, you can't cast another concentration spell.
Okay. Anyway, it
You
doesn't
can't-
matter because I'm saying it's still up, so play D&D.
Yeah. No, if I were to cast something like silence or pass within a trace,
Just keep going.
My illusion would drop.
Yeah, keep going.
I am. So I will, for the sake of interest, so I've moved my illusion. I'm standing pat. I cast Guiding Bolt on this hole in the darkness.
Okay.
I will do that at first level. And just make sure I'm not burning more spell slots than I'm supposed to. That will be a 2 hits of. And does a 16 hit?
That is a good question. Let us consult the internet. A 16 does hit.
Ooh, thank goodness. And that is 46 damage.
4d6. I thought I heard 46. I was about to get
I was hoping it was 46.
really concerned there.
9 and 11 is 20 points of, I believe this is radiant damage.
That's such an awesome spell.
Guiding Bolt is an outstanding spell.
It's not the greatest damage-wise, but it does give advantage to the next attack.
Yeah. So
It is
19, you say?
It was 9 and 11, so that's a total of 20.
20. Okay.
And it is radiant damage.
Very good.
If that matters.
So this thing, this hole in the night illuminates, but it's like shifting. So it's this glittery apparition. It's very smoky, wispy. Again, you see this muscular, but it's all like skeletal torso. Almost no legs. Again, a skull with the crown, but it keeps phasing in and out, but it's much more easy to make out now. So I would say Jacob sees this. Ethan has turned its back on it and is running. Von Felt is facing forward. This is all happening behind him. Same for Ezra, and I think Tanner and Iote's focus is still upon the ichor of dead ogre zombies.
So
Go ahead.
And behind each, like behind you, who are facing the zombies, you see Ethan's flash of lightning bolt and hear that, but you also see a secondary flash at around the same time, maybe shortly after.
Yeah.
So there's definitely something going on.
And
behind you.
Jacob, who was amongst the ogre carcasses, dashes northward out of the battle combat zone. The illusion Jacob. Anything else?
No, that is action and bonus action, and I'm not moving.
Awesomeness. Okay, so Ethan, let's talk about Ethan for a minute. So you ran 30 feet fast as your little wizardly feet could carry you. I don't know if you're like going to glance over your shoulder or anything cool like that, but you have bearing down upon you a now glitter hole. Yes, Andrew, a glitter hole in the night. So now it's like smoky, phasey, glittery. And again, the eyes are what really strike you as they just bore through you with this sinister skeletal face. Half the teeth are missing. Wherever its mouth opens is inky blackness, the absence of anything. And it flies.
Good luck trying to hit me.
Flies right to you at an alarming rate. And it reaches out to touch you. And so, yeah. I think we'll roll this one with advantage since I have 12 of them. Let's just throw some mustard on that. Okay, how does a dirty 20 look?
Well, that'll hit me.
Okay. So you feel upon your shoulder this grasp, and it almost stops you. It's so, like, all of your joints begin to ache with the pain of absolute bone-chilling cold. as you kind of stumble a little bit. Math. Okay.
Yeah.
24 necrotic, and I need a con save, please.
I'm going to use my last divination doohickey to give myself an 18 plus con, you said?
Yeah.
20, so a 21.
Oh, it's a DC 22. Damn it. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so you pass your con save, but you just feel this absolute cold, and it's not, you know how like cold when you get like step out into sub-zero weather? It's more cold coming into you like a conduit. It's like almost internal cold. It's not, ooh, shit, it's cold out cold. And it chills you to the bone. And you do take this necrotic damage, so you just feel parts of your body just begin to kind of shut down and dissolve. And they're just cold rot.
Did you say it was 24?
It was 24, yeah. Okay. And this thing is on you. Like it is, the temperature external to you has also dropped drastically. When this thing approached, you almost felt it arrive, the temperature change. And then bam, this absolute ice cold jolt goes through your body. You feel yourself shake off something even worse. And there you are.
Alrighty.
Iode. Is that your name? Iode?
Yes.
I must learn this. Let's see. With a 23, does that hit your armor class?
It does.
It does. So you also experience an incredibly cold sensation. Ezra, roll perception. You feel... What's that?
18.
Yeah, so you see out of the corner of your eye this darkness envelop around Iode as this gnarled-looking, smoky, skeletal claw grabs onto Iode's shoulder. And Iode, you get the same sensation of absolute stone cold to go through you. And I'm going to ask you to make a Constitution save for me, if you would, please.
18.
Okay, I rolled a 20. Again, your dwarven hardiness, maybe it's your rage, I don't know what it is, but something worse was starting to overtake you, even colder than that cold, and you managed to fend it off. But you have been absolutely stricken to the bone with icy cold necrotic damage in the amount of 20 points.
Okie doke. That's not
And
good.
you see this, the temperature just plummets around you, and you see this wisp of, smoke kind of from behind you kind of come around as this all happens. It is your turn, as a matter of fact.
That just makes me mad. I don't appreciate that. I think I'm going to try and attack it.
It seems reasonable.
I'm gonna take the deficit and see if I can hit it. So that's gonna be a math. It's 8. It's gonna be an 8.
An 8. Okay, so your weapon just passes. You use an axe, correct?
Yep.
Is it like
axe.
a cool special axe or just a badass axe?
It's a vicious great axe.
Okay. That's not imbued with any dwemer of any kind?
No, but I think it's technically magic.
Okay. It passes right through the wispy form as you turn around and wonder what it is that's shot the cold through your body.
I'm gonna try and attack it again. This time,
Vicious
23 to hit.
That'll do it.
And it's gonna take 9 damage.
9 damage. Slashing?
Let's see. What does it do? Yes.
And by what means do you believe your weapon to be magical?
Well, I just thought that vicious great axes were magic because they're more of a rare item. And it says that when you roll 20 on your attack with this magic weapon, The target
Okay,
takes
it
an extra
does.
7
Says-
damage of weapons.
Says
Right.
magic weapon, vicious,
Yeah.
vicious great axe. Where did you find that? I'm just curious.
That's just always been in just the choice of
Like
weapons for the game.
D&D Beyond?
Yeah.
Because I'm getting nothing. That's strange. Okay, cool. As long as it says magical, that's what I need to know. So 9 damage.
Yes.
Okay, so your axe bites this time, and you feel it tear through as that you just hear this shriek, this wail from this hole in the night that's attacking you. Any movement?
Nope, I'm gonna stay where I am.
All right. Let's go to Von Felt. You've seen a shadow come over Iode, and he turned around and took a swing at this smoky darkness. Yeah.
All right. So do I have a target, or is it just like a cloud?
It's a cloud that you can target.
Okay.
It's under vicious weapon.
Yeah, I found it. That's
Thank you,
magic.
Ranger
Yeah.
Harley. That is cool. Great. That is
All
sweet.
right.
I've just never heard of it before.
So I'll take a test shot, and a 19 to hit.
19 will hit.
We're looking at 11 damage.
Cool. And you're using some form of magical weapon, is that correct?
Yes, my longbow is magical.
Yes, that's what I thought.
Yep.
And you said 11?
11 damage.
Okay.
Let's
An
do
arrow whizzes in and passes through, causing the creature another shriek.
Yeah, it's purple arrow in the night.
Yeah.
Pink arrow. Let's do one more. Make sure I'm not hitting anyone by accident. And it's a 1. All right. That's a miss.
Man, I got to get me some critical damage tables going here. Really, critical miss, critical hit. I got to do that as a DM. I owe it to all of us. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
if
a
if it's fine, I'll use my action surge
Oh, please, yeah.
and see if I can get off 2 more. So 21 to hit. That's 12 damage.
Okay.
And final arrow, almost critical. 28 to hit, and that is 13 final damage.
Jeez. That's awesome, dude. Okay, yeah, so you've definitely caused this thing to disperse and kind of reform as it, Iode, it's swirling around you, squealing and wailing from these 4 arrows, just 3 of them find purchase. And the thing that really strikes you, Iode, is the absolute hatred that this thing has for you. You see it through its eyes and its mouth. You're kind of like, holy shit. Like, wow, this is a little freaky scary. Okay, Tanner is up. Tanner is still mounted. I think he will wheel around, hearing all of the commotion. And I would say that he would see full field of what's going on here. I think that's an easy assumption to make. Let me check something real quick here. Okay, he is going to spur his horse and move it 120 to Ethan's position to come help Ethan with the situation at hand, because this glittery, dark, wispy thing that looks an awful lot like what just hammered the dwarf appears to be assailing his beloved friend.
My
Why the hell
hero.
is he helping Ethan?
He's my hero.
And that'll be, of course, a double move, essentially. And that'll end his turn. Ethan, you see Tanner riding up out of the shadows. I'll save you, friend! And you immediately are relieved and know that this will end well for you.
Yeah. I also know I can't lightning bolt it now or cast Burning Hands.
It's in melee.
Your
Your
I am I am going to cast Mind Spike, though.
Okay.
And I'm going to do it as a 3rd level spell.
Nice.
Um,
So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, first of all, it gets a Wisdom save, DC 15, but I can target the mind of one critter I can see within range. It must make a Wisdom save or take 4d8 psychic damage.
Oh, nice.
Or half as much on a successful one.
All right, I've got a 1 on the D20 for my saves. I am rolling
Yay!
lovely on saving throws tonight.
So now I will roll some damage, but I will also have, since it failed its save, I will now know where it is as long as we're both in the same plane of existence.
Okay, yeah.
And he can't become hidden or invisible to me, so that should be handy.
Yeah.
But those look like higher numbers than I expected. 23 points of psychic damage.
Nice. Okay, yeah, this thing squeals and kind of washes around you as you probe into its mind and give it absolute agonizing mental pain. Weaseltoe, what's up, my man? Who are you giving advantage to, sir? And thank you for doing so. Anything else, Ethan?
I don't think so.
Excellent. All right, Ezra.
How far away are they now? I gotta get lost.
So you've got Iote right there fighting with this cloud of inky blackness wrapped in smoke, dispersing and reappearing around it. And they're only, they're right next to you because you were both in melee with the final ogre zombie. So you are in melee range with this thing.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna take 2 shots against it then.
Yeah.
Oh, we had runs. Sorry. That is a 13 with my first shot.
That'll hit.
A 9 with the other.
Okay, first one hits.
And that is 15 points of slashing damage and 10 points of fire damage.
Okay. Very good. It doesn't seem like the fire is doing as much as you'd like it to, but your sword hit itself as a magic weapon. Full purchase. Okay. Anything else?
No, that's all I think I have.
Very well. That brings us to Jacob, the mighty, mighty Jacob. What would you like to do, Jacob? You've got this illuminated, glowing thing kind of assailing your friend Ethan. Tanner has ridden to his rescue. Behind you are the sounds of battle. You're muted.
Right, you are. How far away from my illusion, my duplicate, is the wraith that's on Ethan?
120 feet. Ethan was 90 from the ogres and ran 30 the other way. Your dude ran 30, so it's actually 90 feet, excuse me.
Yeah, that's not going to cut it.
And you do have your spiritual weapon, I'm assuming, with it. But the spiritual weapon can only move 20 feet, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it can only move 20 feet, and I can only move it on a bonus action. So
right.
the
So
last round,
Excuse me.
Last round I used my bonus action to move my duplicate toward the wraith on Ethan. That left the spiritual weapon in the midst where the zombies were, so it's still there.
Yep.
I will. I'll use my bonus action to attack with that spiritual weapon against this wraith-like thing.
Okay, yeah, you could easily move it over to Iote.
Yeah, so we'll do that, and that is a 16 to hit.
That'll hit.
That will be 9 points of damage.
Yeah, so your dagger disperses. This it just kind of wafts away with this wail and shriek.
Oh, cool. So it died. or something.
It did something desirable for you folks, yes.
Yes.
Undied.
All right, and then in that case, I will spin around and take an eyeball on the wraith or whatever it is that's attacking Ethan and hit it again with a guiding bolt.
Okay.
So that will be.
What's your range on that?
120 feet.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
That's a total of 23 to hit.
That'll hit.
46 damage. That's not good. That's 4 and 2 6s and 2 2s. That's lovely. So that is 12 plus 4 is 16 points of radiant damage to this other creature.
Okay. Describe for me how you
Yay!
end this thing.
Like a radiant cosmic nail, it just gets hammered down from the head into the ground, and it discorporates, wailing under the pressure of radiant energy that pours into it.
And that it does. That it does. Jacob, roll me religion.
I ain't got no faith. What are you talking about? Nope. That's a 1, so I'm going to use my halfling luck.
Nice. People always forget about that. That's a nice little thing.
Yes.
Especially on Halfling Day.
On Hobbit Day, yes.
Hobbit Day.
That's a 16 plus 4 is a dirty 20.
Okay. You are confident you've just faced down a group of zombies, which everybody could kind of like, okay, those are probably zombies, the ogres. But a chill goes down your spine as you realize that you've just ended 2 wraiths. And you know they are known for life drain. And if they end a living creature with their life drain, they can raise it as a specter from its corpse. And at that point, that creature is almost irretrievable. It takes resurrection or possibly revivify or something.
It would be very high level.
But it takes a lot to bring somebody back who's been turned into a specter. So you are kind of chilled to the bone and cold sweating now that the danger is over. It grows silent except for the gasps and occasional shrieks and sounds coming from inside the Wayside Inn as quiet falls upon the battlefield.
Right. So Jacob will mentally push his duplicate toward the tavern and himself run towards it, shouting, "Has anyone been killed by these things?" So running towards the group with Aode and Ezralyn and anyone else who will listen.
All good here.
Any dead?
All good here.
And then just slowly walk back to the tavern to check on the 2 people I left inside.
Okay. Yeah, so if you're dead, speak up. You don't hear anything.
I was hoping that someone would actually identify if someone was down, but yeah.
I'm not dead yet.
Yeah. Tanner, look, no one fell. What was that?
They're wraiths. Vicious things. They drain the life from you, they'll raise you back up again as an undead.
Oh. Well. Of course, he's all the way out at Ethan. Are you okay, Ethan?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I've been better.
Jump aboard my steed. Or maybe bring the wagon or something. But here, let me help. Can I help you?
Yeah, you can bring the wagon.
Okay, but I'm already on a horse. Tell you what, I'll hop off and tie it to the back of the wagon.
That sounds like a great plan.
If I could heal you, I would, but of course we all know I can't. So, but I'm glad you're okay.
Well, I'll be just fine.
Were you the source of the lightning? That was so cool.
Well,
Can you teach me that?
Probably not, Tank, and I'm not gonna lie, that would be pretty difficult to teach you. But anyway, you bring the wagon and I'll go this way. And I'll start walking back towards the others.
Okay. Yeah, so he will dismount and basically just loose tie his mount to the back of the wagon, and then he'll climb on the buckboard and bring the wagon forward. Let's see, Iode. You go back in, and Bacchus greets you. Oh, I can't believe you did that. Oh, is everybody okay out there? What was that? What were those? And all the patrons, and there are a number of, there's probably 3 different families of human farmers, locals. There's a bard that was on the small stage in the corner of the tap room that's somewhere not out of eye shot. There was a young lady there. There was the cook, the half orc female cook. There was the owner, and there was Tiga from the smithy, and they're all just kind of like, "Is everybody okay?" You know, kind of taking a head count, and so Bacchus greets you. Wow, that was heroic.
Can I have a drink now?
Of course. Is anyone else out there? What was that?
Oh yeah, some dead things, and there's a bunch of random weirdos outside. And I just go walk up to the bar and sit back down. In my
Kurag,
seat.
the dwarf drinks all night. And Martisha, who's sitting in the corner, still looking over the ledgers and so forth, kind of glares at Bacchus, and he just kind of glares back at her. And they have an enchanted moment there. And you make your way to the bar, and Kurag, she has the apron. She's the chef, if you will, the cook, and she pours you a tall tankard of ale and sets it in front of you, whatever you had been drinking earlier. Oh, and she's like, what was that out there? Thank you for saving us. That they were coming through the door.
Yeah, ogres tend to do that. Well, these ones were already dead.
What?
I don't know.
Dead
no
ogres?
No one's paid me to figure it out yet, so I'm not figuring it out.
Well, you Bacchus said you drink for free tonight, so wow, thank you. And all the farmers are like coming up and slapping you on the back and wanting to buy you a drink and buy you dinner and asking you to tell your tale. Let's flip outside. We have Von Felt, Ethan, Ezra, Jacob, and Tanner outside.
I'm gonna do a perimeter sweep. Make sure there's nothing we didn't miss.
Okay. Tanner will go one way if you want to go the other way. And he'll climb aboard his mount. He will head south down the high road and loop around the south end if you want to go around the north face of the building and loop southward, and you guys can meet on the south side. Roll perception.
Ooh, finally good. 22.
Yeah. You see nothing that resembles anything you've just seen. No ogre zombies, no holes in the night. It is quiet, save for the start of the cicadas that will make noise late in the summer. The occasional squirrel, scuttling across some tree boughs. All is quiet. It's dark out there though, like all of the oil lamps on the front of the building that would normally be there on the north face and on the west face that faces the road are unlit or broken. The oil lamps on the south face of the building that face Tribor Trail are still lit.
Cool. So I'll regroup.
Okay, so Jacob and Ethan, Ezra, what are you doing while Tanner and Von Felt have begun a perimeter search?
Ezra's checking over the horses and the wagon and all that good stuff.
Okay, everything is untouched. Yeah, the tarp is still securely fixed in place. The horses are fine, which is sort of remarkable given the light show and the level of evil that was just upon you.
I think Ethan's gonna walk into the walk closer to the entrance of the tavern so that he's at least near some light.
Okay. Yeah, there is light pouring out of the tavern itself, and there is a familiar human, tattooed. It's the barkeep, Beckus Dunfield, comes out with a torch to illuminate and inspect the damage. Oh, you were here just a few days ago. Oh, you missed all the excitement. And he starts looking at the dead bodies and stuff.
I don't believe I missed it, and I must say that my first visit here was much more enjoyable than this one's been so far.
He kind of leans back, and you see he's got scars on his face and kind of a sneer, crooked smile, and he's in a kind of just a woolish tunic, and that is untucked over some trousers. He's got a only waist high apron with a towel hanging on one hip. So you helped end these things, huh?
Well, you're welcome.
Oh, well, and he starts to realize there's a group out here, and he sees, I assume, Von Felt and Tanner probably return. Jacob, are you coming up to the front of the inn at this point?
Yeah, be coming up to the front of the inn and simultaneously between my illusion and myself say hi.
He kind of stops. He's like, "Oh, you didn't have a twin with you when you were here last, Jacob, right?
Yep.
Who's your little friend there?"
I'll just push my arm right through little friend's head. Magic.
I see. Ezra, right? Ezra Lynn, mercenary. Yeah, it's Bacchus. Yeah, good to see you all again. And champion archer guy, I remember you too. Yeah, and then the foppish swashbuckler. Yes, well, you all are drinking for free tonight. If you helped in saving us from this awful, we should do something with these huge. Oh, and he's like, oh, these should be
I
burned.
wish Noel was here.
Oh,
You really get rid of them so easily.
I wonder if you can reanimate corpses.
Oh no, the necromancer. So what would you all like to do? You've been offered free drinks for the evening?
That sounds good.
Jacob's going to take a few minutes, let his illusion and spiritual weapon evaporate, but also in his duplicate, to look at the zombie corpses and see if there's any affiliation markings,
okay.
or if there's any way to tell what the source of the zombies was.
Okay, sure. Yeah,
Like
so
the crypts.
you see Jacob kind of poking around the corpses, and two of them are face down. One of them is not, and you see an interesting bit of symbology upon its forehead. It seems to have been branded, and emblazoned upon its forehead is the image, like a brand in the shape of a ghostly skull.
I see. Do I recognize that from anything?
Roll me a religion check.
Religion. That's 23.
Yeah. So you're looking at this, and this is not an unfamiliar thing. And again, the cold chills start, right? And you're tempted to kind of, look over your shoulder after the unholiness that you've experienced this evening. But you realize as you look at this, and maybe you even, touch it, you feel that it has been burned into the flesh. It's a brand. And it was probably installed there as part of whatever necromantic ritual that animated these deceased ogres for some fell purpose. And then you look at that symbol and it hits you, and you realize you are looking at the holy symbol of the death god Merkel.
With that, Jacob will reflexively call upon his innate magic and fire a firebolt at it, burning it off.
Okay, so you see the angry little halfling. I'm picturing almost like Bilbo when he tries to get the ring while in Rivendell. Right? All of a sudden, Jacob maybe goes white, and you just see him. Well, describe for me what it looks like with your firebolt. I'm curious.
He's looking at these corpses, looking for any traces of the magic or the source or whatever, and you see him tracing the outline of some kind of image on the skull of this one zombie, and he then snaps his fingers and repulsively pushes back away from it, and you see just a bolt of flame emerge instantly from his hand to hit the skull and burn away the flesh that's there. Oh, that was a symbol of Merkel. We do not want to have these creatures around. We need to burn them immediately. The god of murder is some foul creature about creating these monstrosities.
I would think all of you would be aware the god of Merkel is the god of death and murder. And yeah, go ahead, Ezra.
Well, whenever he gets back, we'll pile him up, set him on a pyre, and light him up.
Okay. Tanner and Von Felt have certainly easily completed their circuit and inform you that there's no apparent danger around the property. So yeah, you've got two face down and one face up with a very severely burnt forehead.
I'll ask the barkeep if he's got any extra oil and firewood about to set these things alight.
Oh yeah, we've definitely got back in the stable. We could get this going. Yeah, wood and everything. Yeah, we'll see to it.
We're talking about close to 3 tons of rotten flesh, which will be kind of hard to move around.
If you'll permit me, you've got 2 fine draft horses there attached to that wagon. We'll be happy to use them to pull the nasties off into the field, and we'll have them in fire in no time.
Yeah.
Also, gotta get this carriage settled first. We're gonna.
Well, the wagon we want to put into your barn for safekeeping. We're carrying supplies to Leilon.
Oh, of course, absolutely, yes. I'll see to it at once. And then you hear him whistle, and a couple of a male and a female, probably early 20s, come out of the double doors. You hear the big, bar. They unbolt the doors and swing them open and come running. And he says, please take this wagon, back it into the stable, and then unhook the draft horses and bring them out, if you would. And bring probably about 4 ropes and a good length of chain. And they're like, yes, sir. And they lead your draft horses and wagon and very carefully back it into the stable very deftly. They very clearly are comfortable handling draft animals and horses. Yes, well, please come in. We'll feed you tonight. You will not pay for a drink here. That's for certain.
You're too kind. Thank you. And Jacob will just walk in because there's really not much he can do in terms of moving ogre bodies.
Okay.
Ethan will do the same.
Ethan goes in. Okay. Tanner will follow. He dismounts. They'll know, Bacchus stays out there. I'll take care of your mounts. Just go ahead, please. You've done us a tremendous service. We're indebted to you. So is everybody going in?
Sure.
Okay. He stays out there, presumably to deal with moving these. He's going to rig and move the bodies. You hear him yell a couple of names, and some of the farmers, probably 3 or 4 of them, head outside, presume to take care of these bodies, get the horses stabled, and so forth. And as soon as you enter, you see a half-orc female in a full apron up to around her neck, over shoulders, behind the bar, getting drinks for your dwarven friend person, fellow killer of ogre zombies. You see a fairly well-dressed female human back in one corner. The tap room itself is about 30 feet across. When you enter in that angled vestibule and look southward, it's 30 feet west to east. There's a little stage in the northeast corner. There are tables, some small tables, a couple of very small circular tables. There are some larger tables that would seat like 6 or 8, like rectangular. And then all the way on the south wall are some double doors. There's a window behind a bar with 6 stools around it. Along that south back wall, the window looks like it maybe looks in on the kitchen. And the front door that used to be there, that the dwarf kindly opened, is some 5, 10, 15, 30, 45, 50 feet from the bar. So it's about a 60-foot, 70-foot by 30-foot tap room. There's a staircase on the west wall, the wall that faces the road that leads upward. There's a little hallway that runs along the north wall that there's a door at the end of that looks like maybe it goes into the stable area. Again, there are a few families of farmers, some of whom have vacated as you were coming in, nodding and smiling and giving you their thanks, kind of the two-handed, hand clasp thank yous. We're going to buy you drinks and dinner when we come back in, hail the heroes, well met, killed the ogres, that kind of just general hoorah. You see the half-orc female behind the bar tending to the only figure at the bar that happens to be the dwarf that just helped you with these unholy beings.
Having seen that axe in battle, is there any way I could tell the details of it? If I could note if it was vicious or anything like that?
Sure. I know you have an expertise or a familiar background in weapon dealing, merchant value and things, and for sure, seeing that axe in action from, what were you, about 60 feet out, that must be one badass axe, but you'd have to get over to where the owner of the axe is seated at the bar. And owner of the axe, Iode, how is that axe stowed? Is it on your back? Is it on your belt?
It's on my back, and it's basically like taller than me.
That's what I kind of thought. Yeah, because it's a great axe.
Yeah.
Wielded by a great dwarf. So you see I don't want to say diminutive, but a little shorter than human, 4'6", stocky. Go ahead, please describe yourself, Iode, as you sit with your back to the group that just came in the bar or the tavern.
Basically, you see pretty scruffy brown faux hawk, very scruffy mutton chops, lots of tattoos, lots of scars visible on her arms. She's wearing a metal breastplate, sort of like cuirass. I don't know. Leather pants, lots of holes, pretty nice boots, and a giant fucking axe.
Love it.
And she's just not paying attention. She's just drinking.
Yeah, she's got a nice, like a ceramic, tankard.
All right. I'm gonna approach and see if I can get the spot next to her. In Dwarven, I'm just gonna do kind of like a customary, after battle casual congratulations kind of thing. So, like a traditional saying, I guess.
And when he just looks over at you, it's just like, what?
I like your axe.
Oh, thanks.
You got a great axe.
I made it myself. Thanks.
Sorry, man. I just couldn't.
You made it. You made this?
Yeah.
I'm skeptical.
I mean, you can insight check, but it's the truth.
No, that's fantastic.
Is it rune covered and stuff? Can you give us some detail on the axe?
The blade itself is pretty clean, and the handle is like warped and charred wood wrapped in leather. There's no real runes or markings. It doesn't even look particularly dwarvish. It looks just like more, I guess, on the orcish side of things. Just more like very sharp, very ugly, but very effective.
I don't speak Orcish. I like Dwarven. Okay. Well, anyway, well, nice fighting out there.
Yeah, it's kind of what I do, at least
Yeah.
against those things.
You fight those things often?
Usually they're a bit more alive. Those ones seem to come a little pre-damaged with all the swords and spears sticking out of them.
Free prizes, right?
Those aren't made well, clearly. If they were made well, they would have kept them dead. But whatever brought them back in those weird fart clouds of evil, I don't know. It's not really my jurisdiction at the moment, so cheers. He's just gonna go back to drinking.
Well, my name's Vaughn Full-Type here, and these are my companions. I look around and see they're not really next to me, so it's like, oh, whatever. Yeah. I was gonna sit down, and if there's drinks coming around, and see if I can get one.
Yeah, so Kurak, the half-orc, steps forward. Good to see you. You were here a few days ago, right?
Yes.
Yeah, good to see you again. Got some spicy pork pies baking. What will you have? You were with your group. Is everybody? Did they come back with you?
Yes.
And you can see her kind of eyeballing everybody as they come in the broken front door. Did you help with the dispatching of whatever that was out there?
Yes, we did.
Free drinks then. What will you have?
Let's do a round of pies and drinks, and throw some chickens in if you have.
Yes, of course. And a couple of the farmer families come over, kind of begin as the party. I don't know what the rest of the party's doing, but they start to kind of surround you, kind of clapping you on the back, and oh, thank you for saving us, and we're buying your dinner tonight, and you see this woman seated in the corner at a round table on the south wall. It's the southeast corner of the tap room. Right beside the double doors that go into the kitchen, and she occasionally looks up, seems annoyed. She has a quill and several pieces of paper. Maybe it looks like she's maybe keeping a ledger. And you remember her from before, and you recall she's the owner. You thought maybe Marticia, you thought you heard, and she doesn't appear to be any more interested or friendly, than she was before. And she kind of looks over and yells, "Yeah, drinks are on the house, but you're paying for room and board." And she kind of goes back to what she's doing. And thank you for your help.
Of course.
And the families insist that you allow them to buy you your meals this evening. There are also a number of there's a young halfling, if you recall. She was here before. She was interested in what the bard was doing. She played harmonica and sang a little bit, but she's kind of just sitting alone, looking around suspiciously, and then you see her moment of recognition as she recognizes the group from a few days ago. No sign of the bard, however.
Well, in that case, I guess it's going to unwind.
Do these villagers? Do they look? I don't know. Do they look well dressed or like poor? Or...
Oh, sure, yeah. No, these folks definitely look like they're wearing like wool, work grade trousers, suspenders, shirts. Some of them are dirty, like from actual dirt, not BO, like gross, unkempt, but just long day in the field, whatever they were doing. Maybe there's the aroma of livestock or livestock products. They appear to very much fit the bill of farmers. There's no settlement, but there are small farms that dot the landscape here and there along Tribor Trail over towards Phandalin. You recall maybe even seeing a couple of farms and some tilled fields around the inn. So they're local farmer types. You can put that together. And they are having no hesitance throwing out silver and copper pieces for your meals.
Ethan's going to grab a table and sit down at it.
Very well. Tanner plops down next to you. Can I get you something to drink, friend? How about a nice glass of wine?
Why I think that sounds good. Tanner. That sounds
Tanner Seawalker.
Right, Tanner. That sounds great.
Yes. When he looks over at Kurag, Miss, could I have two? Is red wine okay? Red's good. Yes, 2 red wines, please. And she nods and smiles, and she's over with them right away. Let's see, we got Jacob and Ezra. What are you doing as you enter the tap room and take in the scene? It smells savory, a little bit of spice, just like before. If you recall, this Kurag was quite the meat pie, pork pies, fried potatoes, very savory, spicy fare.
Is Ezra still with the dwarf?
I'm assuming you
Ezra,
came in.
Van Felt, sorry.
Yeah, Von Felt is at the bar with Iode. It looks like they've had a bit of a conversation. You'll see him kind of leaning back and kind of inspecting Iode's axe with great interest.
All right, yeah, she'll come over and she's going to order a drink, but also slap Van Felt in the back to say, good job.
Likewise. Hey, look at this axe. Is this seems a little. Maybe you might have a better look at this.
And what does she see when she looks at the axe? Because she'll circle back around and look.
It's got. Isn't it gonna look like a touch orcish?
If Ezra's moving around to look at the axe, Iode's gonna look at her and be like, "My eyes are up here."
That's awesome.
You'll get a genuine laugh out of Ezra, but she'll still keep trying to see the axe.
If you have questions, you could just ask me.
And joke, dwarf.
Yep.
Dwarf humor.
Okay, what do I see on the axe?
It definitely looks like hammered metal, but it was designed to look hammered. Not like it was poorly made, but it was purposefully made to look rugged and as basically non-clean as possible. It's very grimy looking, obviously, after what just happened. There's nothing no defining features really that are carved in, no language, no ceremonial anything. It's just a really nicely made bitchin' looking axe.
Rustic.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. That's a nice axe. Not something I'm not an axe fan, but yeah, no, that's nice. A nice axe.
Yeah, I like your sword, the whole fire thing. Very cool.
Ezra will pet her the scabbard. Yeah, I'm fun.
I take my drink and I walk to Ethan.
Why don't you join my table with my friends there?
Yeah, all right. Drinking alone does look a little sad after a while.
Yeah, and I don't do small talk, so this is gonna get awkward real quick without Van Felt here. So.
Oh, we don't have to do small talk. We can just skip right to flirting if that works.
I don't flirt.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, but I'm sure someone else on the table will happily entertain you.
I look over at the table and I'm like, okay. It's I guess they're fine. I mean, I'm got 10. Clearly, there are at least a couple of 5s over there.
Ezra just grab a drink and walk back over and sit down on a seat.
I will join them awkwardly, just kind of being like, so who would be the least offended to sit next to me?
I'll just kick a chair out.
All right, and I will sit down.
Kurag will come over. She's already brought the glasses of wine, but she'll look at Jacob, Ezralin. Can I get you anything to drink? I do need to move quickly. I have to tend to the pork pies and potatoes.
A beer.
Very well.
And with that,
It's on the house. Thank you, all of you.
we couldn't save your door, but hopefully we saved a lot of lives. And with that, Jacob will just get up and start, as subtly as possible, wandering the room, talking, just idle chat to people, loosening them up, seeing if he can determine if any of them, through hidden holy symbols or anything else, show any affiliation to Merkel.
Okay, yeah, sure. So you're gonna sweep the place, eh? Does that include employees of the inn, tavern?
To the extent possible, yeah. He'll ignore them largely, except when interacting with them, trying to downplay sort of like the role played, and just trying to put people at ease to see if you can crack any nuts.
Let's have you roll 2 rolls for me, please, Jacob. How about a performance or deception, whichever you prefer, to hide your efforts, and then let's do that first of all.
I will do deception because I've got really good deception, and that's a natural 20, so it's a 26.
Okay. That's a max. Okay. Yeah, so you're confident that you're running pretty smooth right now. So go ahead now and roll me an investigation, and you can add a +3 to that for your excellence in deception.
Okay, so that is 17 total with that +3.
Okay. Yeah, okay, so the barkeep finally comes back in, and he's still kind of barking orders, but he wants to get back in and tend to the bar. You look him over. Again, he looks rather scarred, like he's seen some action. If you recall, he's sort of a retired privateer, which sparked Tanner's interest a little bit, and wanted to, kind of remain on land, get into business. He's got a pendant on a chain around his neck, and the pendant is actually a trident. It's not anything, extravagant or wealthy. You stop at several of the tables, and they all want to know, like, what happened, where are you from, how did you do that? You seem to have a rapt audience should you wish to share any details about what happened outside.
Yeah, we'll just share sort of a generic story, playing up the use of holy and divine energies to guide people to the strikes and that sort of thing. The brilliant display of electrical magic from Ethan, and the martial puissance of both Ezralin and Van Felt, particularly with the spot on sniping. Tanner didn't really do much of anything, so we'll ignore him.
I stabbed it with a rapier from the horse with finesse.
I must have missed that.
I was on the horse. I was the one on the horse.
I see you were horsing around. Yes.
As you're doing this, you realize that Tanner is tagging along. It seems he's grown tired of Ethan's constant chatter at the table. And he's interested in embellishing anything you say. He kind of chimes in with maybe something he did, or, man, we saw this dwarf out there, never seen them before. And he's oblivious to what your actual purpose is.
That's okay. What I'm going to do is, with my deception roll, I'll actually play into that to allow him to play the fool going into the conversations and loosening people up, and follow more subtly along behind with the investigation roll to do sort of a 1-2 punch to that, and just let people pay a bit more attention to him Well, they're distracted from
Okay.
him.
Yeah.
Jacob's paying more attention to his surroundings.
Yeah. You see Kurag is now in full kitchen mode because Bacchus is back behind the bar, keeping drinks flowing. He brings Martisha a white wine. She snaps at him, and you can't really tell what's said, but she doesn't look real happy. And then you notice a clatter at the entrance, and the stableman and stable girl, young lady, are piecing together some temporary doors to close the inn off from the cool and darkness of the evening. So there's a bit of that clatter. You notice about Kurag, beneath each ear, she has tattoos of curved daggers on her neck. And you remember some conversation about those when you were here last. The smithy, Tiga, very fit, large, probably 6'2", human female. She has, you hear her talking about her smithy work. She's been over to examine the axe with Ezra once she saw it, and talks about how she's got this really great anvil that's forged in the shape of a dolphin that she thinks is pretty cool. And she'll actually sit at the bar and drink. And she wears a set of bronze bracers that are actually shaped like 3 lightning bolts designed together. Those look pretty cool. They kind of stand out. And those actually kind of stick in your mind. The halfling is still kind of humming to herself and noodling around on a harmonica, looking around the room nervously as she did before when you were here. And basically, you've got sort of a rapt audience between Scylla Scalesweep, who's the halfling, and the farmers, some of whom are now helping with the door reconstruction, some of whom have come back in and begun to eat. The smell of spiced pork pie is strong in the air. There are both pickled onions and sautéed onions and mushrooms. There are roast potatoes that are very spicy as well, but a different spice than what's in the pork. There are baked apples and corn on the cob. And it's laid out just family style on the tables where people are eating. And there is certainly no shortage of food at the table with the party. And small bits of silver and copper have also appeared on the table with the party to fund the meal. And you do, with your excellent perception roll and deception, also notice that Martisha has noticed the silver and the copper and seems to have cooled her mood a bit. And hums to herself a little more, maybe more content now that she sees that dinner is paid for.
Excellent, but no threat or evil within the tap room itself, though.
You don't see any symbology of Merkel or death or that same holy symbol. You would have seen that same brand on the forehead of the other 2 face-down ogres as the riggers, the farmers, were out there kind of rolling them over and dragging them off. You do notice, if anybody happens to look out any of the windows facing west, there's one near the entrance and one near the bar that face the road, the west, that a rather large bonfire has sprung up. Several yards into the open grassy field across the road from the inn. You would only assume that is probably the end of the ogres.
And so Jacob will whisper a quick prayer to the halfling god Brandabaris in halfling and just make a gesture toward it and pray for basically peace of the rest of the night.
Okay, so did you cast bless or anything, or
No, just say a prayer.
Yeah, nice, very nice. Okay, yeah. The mood has definitely shifted from one of disbelief and fear when you entered to the party is back on and it's up 2 notches because all was saved and the heroes are with us and they're not going to eat or pay for drinks or they're set for life. All hail the heroes, you're plied with questions. Where are you from? Where are you going? Why are you here? No end of questions, Jacob. How do you wish to answer that? And in fact, the party has also been asked by Tiga, what's his name, Bacchus, and Kurog at various times, more in passing, not so much a grilling or anything, but everybody wants to kind of know like who you are, where you're from, what you're doing, you know.
I'll just give them a generic story that we're from various places abroad, but we've come together and we're just working with the Lord Neverember of Neverwinter to move goods from Neverwinter to Leilon, and we're staying here for the night. Just happened to be coming by, and we got lucky.
Okay. Bacchus listens incredibly intently to your explanation and seems reasonably satisfied with it. But he definitely lingered and looked at you and listened carefully, more than just a passing interest that the farmers, most everybody else is like, oh yeah, great, Neverwinter, going to Leilon. So are you still sweeping? Are you done?
I'm done. As soon as the food hit the table, it was okay. I think we're good here. Started tucking in.
Okay, yeah, so there is a mountain of food on your table, party.
Excellent.
While you're eating, Jacob, you get a little tug on your waistcoat or cloak or whatever it is your outer garment is.
Yep.
And the young halfling female, she looks to be 17, 18 seasons, fairly young, tan, the typical clever fingers of a hobbit, very fit. She says, are you going to Leilon? You said.
Yeah, that we are.
And she kind of looks around kind of nervously and then flips into a kind of a common halfling slang, almost along the lines of English Cockney. Verbs and subjects are reversed, and there's weird words that mean things totally unrelated to the word, but it's a halfling dialect. Right. And she essentially asks you if she might pay for passage to Leilon with the group. She's got beautiful amber long hair. It's all done in these really nice braids, kind of twisted around. A couple of them hang down her back, probably to the back of her knees. The other ones are kind of wrapped around and arranged just nicely. She's in wool breeches. She has cute little suspenders and a little bit of a blousey cotton top. She has a knife at her side, and she has a little backpack. And she wants to know if she's holding her harmonica. She wants to know if she might pay for safe passage to Leilon with the group. She's hoping to go there and get hired on as a fisherman.
Well, we can certainly take you. We're going there anyway.
Oh, when will you be going? How long will you be here?
We'll be leaving on the morrow, I believe.
And all of this is taking place in this sort of lilting slang, halfling slang that, and the rest of you will hear them and see them speaking. The young halfling seems a little shy at first, and then as she starts into this gibberish, essentially, you're like pig Latin going off the rails, wrapped in a thick English accent with word combinations that are like, and you see Jacob, engaging, and you just see her tension and shyness wash away. And by the time they're done, she looks almost like she's gonna like hug Jacob. She's so excited. Let me play a tune for you. And she backs up and starts to play a nice old halfling folk song on her harmonica, quite nicely, by the way. and taps her toe
Cool.
as she plays.
And Jacob will start the whatever appropriate formal dance is for that, or informal, and just like a jig, and dancing about, smoking his pipe, drink in one hand, pipe in the other. At some point, we'll set the drink down and grab Ezralyn by the hand and invite her to join him on the floor.
Jolyn will awkwardly dance. She's had enough to drink.
And we'll walk you through the steps very slowly and then pick up speed because you're capable of doing it, I'm quite sure. It's just a matter of learning the steps. Thank you for joining me. And as the song winds to an end, Jacob will give Ezralyn a sweeping bow and then offer her whatever's on the nearest table of food or drink, probably drink.
Israel will just give him a thumbs up, grab a drink, and go back to her seat and just continue to be socially awkward.
And I'll just give a sly aside to Scylla and say, that one's really shy. Need to get her out of her shell.
She finishes her tune and nods as you're speaking to her, finishes her tune, and the farmers all clap, and you see Bacchus at the bar kind of roll his eyes like, golly, here we go again with this girl with the harmonica, and Tiga kind of turns around and nods roughly, and then you hear a clap from the stage, and you see a human dressed in leathers. He has a fiddle, and he steps upon the stage and begins to play a different tune, maybe more of a local regional type folk song. It's very dancey in nature, and up go the farmers. Tiga pops up and grabs Kurag, and they go dance on the floor together, and the bard begins playing this lilting tune, and Scylla kind of winks at you and scampers off to join the bard on the stage, and a festive dancing, lilting sort of celebratory. There's tankards, there's sloshing, there's general mirth and happiness. The remainder of the farmers come in having made some reasonable, closable, lockable door situation on the front of the building. And a good time is had by all. And you even notice, if you care to glance in her direction, a smile or two on the face of the cranky owner person.
Somewhere unnoticed in that, Jacob will approach the owner and lay out a string of 20 gold and just say, we can't freeload the whole time and you've got a business to run here.
She smiles and nods. Well met. I certainly had no intention of giving you free rooms, but if you'd played your cards right, I'm sure some of these folks would have brought up the coin. And she sweeps the coin off the table. But I appreciate that, because these people do need their coin for farming and providing me with fresh vegetables for Kurag back there. So she offers a handshake, as would be customary between merchant folk.
Always a pleasure.
Jacob beat me to it. I was going to do the same thing.
Yeah. And her smile widens, and she holds up her empty wine glass, and Bacchus comes to the table with a rather large shit-eating grin out of his sort of sneering, scarred face in a sailory kind of way, and sets a fresh bottle of white wine in front of her after pouring her glass 3/4 full. And so the mirth and merriment continue.
Well, this has been an interesting couple of days.
Well, we do lead interesting lives, Ethan. Sometimes we get to enjoy it.
Well, between the good of the holy symbol and the evil of Urkel, the god of evil, the Greys have beaten me down these past couple of days.
You're alive, they're not. That's a win. Tomorrow's a new day. We have a nice warm bed. No need to stay out in the outdoors. And with any luck, we've given whatever undead choose to haunt this area, at least for the moment, a pushback.
Maybe.
I'll take my rest where I can get it.
They seem awfully organized.
Well, they are wont to do that. I'm a little surprised at the... Well, let's just say that I don't think wraiths and zombies fall under the same tree. So I think someone is behind this. And I've been spending a good deal of time in the room looking for potential insiders. There's none that I can see that really fit the capability of bringing wraith to the table and raising zombies of that size.
I wonder how the Ogrelons that we faced a while back fit into all this.
The ones with the bugbears, well, they were followers of Talos. This is Merkel, so they're two different gods. They might find alignment, but we need to understand what the game is. We see pieces on the board, but we don't know their purpose. That we need to find.
Well, there certainly doesn't seem to be anything around here worthy of fighting over.
It's debatable.
Although we knew in necromancy.
We do, but I think Noel is far too gentle for a potential tableau that we're facing with these evil gods.
That's the best.
It's insidious, is what it is.
The fact that we're heading closer to the Mirror of Dead Men and our previous experience there leads me to some concern. If all that is somehow being organized, that could be a problem.
Let's not forget the citadel that we went to, the Dwarven Citadel. I mean, they had undead there as well.
Yeah.
It's not that far away.
Axholm, I think, was a result of the
Banshee.
Their own folly, really. Yes, the Banshee. They held the Elfin Maiden captive. I think that's where that came from.
I made a joke about snake cult, and this is somewhat worse.
Mirror of Dead Men, I'm not sure has the same ring to it. The mirror seems to have come about from some other more ancient or certainly older magic. This that we face tonight has a certain immediacy to it. And Ethan's not wrong to say that there is something afoot with these evil gods infesting this area.
It seems more likely that it's something we've stumbled upon. We may not yet have been noticed by it.
It's possible. This is no chess game, though. There are many parties on the board. We need to figure out what their purpose is. And if they're working together, our work will be much, much harder.
As you're chatting, Artesia will walk up and pull up a seat without asking. Sit down, rather importantly. So it seems your lodging has been paid for the evening. And she nods at Jacob. Rather handily. Your lodging's been paid for some time now. So I would extend to you, you'll have another up to a week's stay with lodging, drinks, and food. Thanks to the generosity of your diminutive friend here. But I could use, if you could deliver a message. I would like to speak with, I'm not sure really who it is or who's in charge, but someone from Leilon with some decision-making authority. I'd like to speak with them about making some arrangements for mutual benefit, perhaps business, trade. So if you could pass that along to whoever's in charge and maybe encourage them to come up, have a visit. In fact, I'll offer them a free night's stay for the trip and for their difficulty. But if you could pass that along, I would be grateful.
What should we tell them that you trade in?
Well, I would love fresh seafood. I also am a little concerned after tonight. This is clearly becoming a more and more dangerous location, albeit profitable for the travel. And my hope, I benefit from a successful rebuild Leilon as I'm on the road on the way from Neverwinter, and so any traffic that would generate would certainly benefit me. So it's in my interest to see them succeed. So if we could get some trade back and forth, I can always get spirits, ale in quantity, things of that nature. Perhaps some trade might be established. Might help me with some aid should we need it here, of the protective kind. Maybe a good relationship, if they have one, with the Lord Protector might be helpful. And I would like to buy their wares when they're up and running with fish and produce and so forth. These farmers all, and she kind of waves around the room, I buy produce and meat from them. We all benefit.
Indeed. We will certainly find the right people to speak to about that.
That would be excellent. And as I say, beyond this night, you all have a week of room, board, and drink, as your diminutive friend here has started you a tab.
Excellent. What's her name? Marticia?
Marticia, yeah.
Marticia. Say, should you happen to come across anything of interest, perhaps off the ledgers, if it'd be good enough to maybe pass that along to us, perhaps. Just basically trying to do my my merchant trick to see if he has anything rare in the rare stocks.
Okay. Do you have a skill associated with that, like persuasion or?
It's the lone ability of my background. It's just kind of, hey, if you got anything cool, just let me know.
Yeah.
So
would this be for you directly, or is this something involved with the village? Or I overheard you say you came from Neverwinter. Could you maybe give me a little more?
This would mainly be for us. If there's anything perhaps maybe you're trying to unload, or something that you maybe say for special clientele, anything interesting that I don't know, what one would taste, such as yourself, I guess.
Well, there may be
with a good eye.
Maybe a fine garment or two, a nice weapon, something of that. Very well. You say you'll be in Leilon.
Yes.
Yes. Well, I will keep that in mind. Yes.
Yeah. I don't have anything in mind, so I'm not even looking for anything.
And your name again?
I'm Von Fultype here.
She kind of looks up inside her head as if she's trying to, if she knows your surname. Yeah. Always happy to make a special trading partner.
Yes.
She smiles, and then she looks over at Jacob, especially one with coin. And she kind of raises her wine glass. So we have an arrangement then. You'll pass along my desire to speak with someone from Leilon about trade and maybe some help with protection. Maybe help grease the skids with the Lord Protector for me so that we might get some more presence on the high road. It's getting dangerous out here. I heard about the Lord Protector's cart that was turned over and men were killed. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah, it's grim business. But hopefully we can increase the safety of these roads, the high road, and I'm certain we'll be coming through here again. So,
Excellent.
yes.
Very well. And she just kind of stands up and smiles and nods and enjoy your time here. And again, thank you for your help. Seems a whole different personality has been revealed once the economic concerns were dealt with. You know, she was pretty sus looking at you all like, you know, who are these grifters? You know, but once people started buying your dinner and then Jacob, you know, kind of lubricated the process with some coin.
Never a good enough reason to use the word lubricate.
All right, so the you know, one by one, the families of farmers all, you know, bid fond adieu. Tiga disappears somewhere into the back. Presumably, she might have quarters here. You know, as the smithy. The bard and his little halfling friend kind of tone it down after several more songs, some requests. A bit of coin has been thrown upon the stage, just coppers, and they find themselves seated at the same table, just chit-chatting. And the evening is winding down. Kurag has stayed back in the kitchen, presumably maybe cleaning it up. Martisha has vanished. And it's you and the bard and the small halfling and the barkeep Bacchus Dunfield.
So how about you, Iota? Where are you headed to next?
Well, it's Iode, thanks.
Iode.
And I just sort of go around to different towns. I don't really have a destination. I just follow where the monsters go. You have any leads on something like that?
Well, as you've just heard, we're headed to Leilon, which I'm guessing is the most godforsaken place this area has ever seen.
Now that Phandolin's a happening place.
Phandalin was the armpit.
Yeah. Now we're on
Leilon is the
godforsaken.
godless, godforsaken. Yeah.
I did hear about that cart attack.
Yeah.
Bugbears. Never good news.
Bugbears and Ogrelons together. Two of them were shifters.
Seems like if you're going from town to town looking for monsters, we may be able to find plenty of those in Leilon.
Well, I mean, if you don't mind me tagging along, I could probably use the help. I think I would have been shit out of luck if you guys hadn't shown up. The ogres, no big deal, but wraiths, those are messy.
Yes, they did seem particularly difficult to deal with.
Yeah. Why are you guys going to Leilon anyway?
Well, you remember the story of that cart that didn't make it?
I assumed it was related.
Or the replacement?
Oh, that's unfortunate. Do they just throw people at stuff until it gets done around here?
It's the only way to get goods to where they need to go. The Lord Protector of Neverwinter has taken a great deal of interest in this area as part of his claim protectorate, so he felt responsible to send the necessary goods to Leilon to help it rebuild.
And I think he's hired smarter this time.
He certainly has heard smarter before, yes. Oh, you mean now? I see, yes. Well, the last time he provisioned his own men we're not well trained.
Yeah, city guards don't really know what it takes to fight off bandits in their territory. But bugbears and shifters. Did you happen to see any markings? Anyone seem like a leader?
There was a big one. He had markings of Talos upon him. They were definitely channeling some magic. Fought like berserkers. Hands of spiky bone. Like punch daggers. Only much nastier.
Gauntlets.
Did you get them all?
One got away. But Von Felt here took out the leader with one shot. At range.
But one got away. That's the problem. As long as one gets away, there's always going to be more.
And I'm not sure that that group was any of them were the overall leaders. They seemed, I mean, they're organized. So the fact that one got away, I don't think we would have gotten all of them anyway. There's someone's behind this, it seems.
They were organized. They knew what was coming. They had a camp off the road. They knew what was going on.
They weren't your run-of-the-mill bandits.
Makes you wonder where that one got off to.
Yeah, none of us trackers, that's for sure. Are you?
Nah, not any good. Wasn't really my thing in the tribe or anything like that. I was more of I was the smith for a while.
Indeed.
That's kind of my thing. Or it was my thing. And then, as it do, shit happens.
Here you are, hunting monsters.
Yep. Tricky thing is, monsters are getting harder and harder to come by these days. Not like there aren't a fair share of beasties here and there, but the monsters typically wear suits nowadays.
Well,
They have a lot of power. They hide in big houses. They're a lot harder to kill. And it's a little more frowned upon when you try to murder somebody like that.
I think soon you'll have your share of monsters.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, you ever feel like you're just going through the motions?
there's only one way to find out. Come with us. We'll see if we can break you out of your rut. It's new and interesting things and all that good stuff.
Depends. What's the biggest thing you've killed?
Well, let's see. There was the white dragon in Icespire Peak.
Okay. Adult or juvenile?
Somewhere between.
Tween.
A tween dragon.
Gave us a lot of sass.
Yeah, those white dragons kind of do. This goes around freezing villagers. That can always be a bit messy.
It was harassing several villages around Phandalin
Yeah.
and trade routes. But we got lucky with some skill. Point a thumb over to Von Felt again. This one's good with the arrows.
Deuce. Well, I suppose I gotta respect a fellow dragon slayer. And I can't say I've ever fought a white one.
Dealt with a banshee at one point. That was obnoxious. Number of other undead.
Yeah, That's the thing about undead is on their own they're no fun, but it's once you get them in swarms, now that's fun. It's kind of like a kid running around kicking dandelions, watching their heads explode.
If that's what you can make of it, more power to you.
Well, I mean, it's a messy job, but someone's got to do it, right?
Yeah. I like occasionally taking a tactical approach.
Yeah, I mean, it's like not everyone's gonna go down and kill the den of goblins that's troubling the town. No one cares about goblins, but someone has got to roll up their sleeves and bash their fucking skulls in. Kind of like pest control.
Indeed. Well, you're welcome to come. We'll probably be off on the morrow. We usually get an early start. And if nothing else, if you need pay, we've got an agreement with the large ship up in Neverwinter. I'm sure we can add you onto the charter and get you paid.
I'm not worried about pay. Money comes and goes. The monster killing, that's what stays.
We'll go out of our way to find you some monsters.
Sounds like a deal.
We won't have to go far out of our way. There'll be plenty.
No, from the sounds of what I ever heard this evening, it seems like shitstorms just kind of find you guys.
You have no idea.
A little at column A, a little at column B.
A lot of column A.
All right, so the evening is winding into the wee hours. Everybody's feeling no pain except those who have pain from combat, but you're probably feeling less pain. And there's no one left in the tap room but the party and the bartender who's kind of eyeballing you, yawning, apparently hoping that you find your way up to your rooms.
Jacob will just wrap up and head up to his room or whatever.
Yeah, so there are 3 rooms that are all singles. And then there's 2 rooms that are shared. So there's a total of 5 rooms upstairs. So I don't know how you want to do that. There's also the stables if anybody doesn't want to, bunk with someone else.
Guys are sleeping on top of the wagon again.
Okay, so you're in the stable on top of the wagon. You go over there. The young folk, the young man and woman are in there. There's just an oil lamp lit on a table. There's tack and harness and gear and stuff, and the wagon is in there. There are like 2 other horses in there beside the mounts that the party brought. And yeah, you can make your bed up on the wagon, no problem. The stable hands slide a large wooden bar across the inside of the door and pull the locks and everything.
Before Ezra leaves, Ethan's going to whisper to her, "I've been modifying the plans for my attack on Waterdeep. I'll catch you up later."
Sure, yeah. Let's get a few things taken care of, and we'll discuss it again.
Of course.
And she gets out of there as quickly as possible. She doesn't have to talk about that again.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
And then Ethan will go up into one of the single rooms.
Okay. Yeah, there are a total of 5, and there are a total of 5 of you, so that works out perfectly.
Perfect.
2 of the rooms have multiple bunks, multiple beds, but they've been cordoned off as singles so that you can, just stay on your own. They're sparse. There's a table beside each bed. There's very inexpensive furniture. The rooms that aren't shared, the 3 rooms that are set up as singles, each have windows overlooking the stable. 2 of them do. The other one overlooks Tribor Trail. It faces south. the mattresses and everything are comfy enough. It's nothing, it's just very overstuffed straw pallets and bed frames. It's very suitable, but nothing to write home about. Wash basins have been filled. There's a writing desk in the single rooms, and small tables in the other 2 rooms that have 3 beds each. Oh, excuse me.
Sounds good to me.
And so I think that'll be a good spot for our session to end. We'll start next session, hopefully next Wednesday, when you wake up in the morning and make your plans to head to Leilon.
Cool.
Sounds good.
All right, so let's do some super quick outros so we can put a bow on this thing and get to bed because the old Hobbit's getting tired. It's been a full-filled, wonderful Hobbit day.
Yep.
So Ezra, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Kayla. You can follow me on Twitter at miss_misery_, and I'm pretty much only active in Molly's Discord. Have a good night, everyone.
All right. Funfelt.
Yes, I'm Matt, Dungeon Glitch on the online, mainly Twitter. I'm on Gem Firefly. We make nerd shirts. That's gemfirefly.com. You can find it on my Twitter as well. This is the only game I play. I'm not really into Discord, but yeah, that's what I do, so I'm here. So thanks.
Nice. Very good. If you want to dump your link in the chat for your site, that'd be cool. Ethan.
Hey everybody, I'm Chris WikiVA on Discord and Twitch. My Twitter handle may be on the screen somewhere. I play here on Wednesdays. It's the only game I play in. I own no stores or anything of any other interest. Happy to be here, though.
This is all that the internet can take of you right here.
That is
this
all,
Wednesday game. Yeah,
that's all I got.
Yep, nice. All right, Jacob.
Hey, I'm Dave. Hey, Wilson on the social medias. I play here every Wednesday night on this game and also on Mondays on the same Batty channel. So join us at 7:30 for Mysteries in the Dalelands, where I play Biz, the fairy fighter Rune Knight.
Fairy Godmother Fighter Rune Knight. Fairy Godfather Rune Knight.
Godfather. There we go.
I'll just stop now. All right, very good. Thank you, sir. And last but not least, Gideon playing the new Iode.
It's been fun. I'm exhausted, and you can find me on Giddy on the Inside across the internet, including Discord, Twitter. I think it's also my Instagram handle. I don't know, but I'm really only active on Twitter and Discord, so feel free to shoot me random messages or pictures of your cats.
Nice. And Carl is the player that plays Tanner. Carnage on the Discord, as you see on his nameplate. He'll probably be back next week. So thanks for joining us. We're going to dispense with the raid because I think everybody here is pretty well melted. It's been a solid full 3 hours tonight, which is 3.5 hours, which is uncommon for this group. So pretty cool. We will see you soon. We'll be back playing D&D Monday, 7:30 with Mysteries in the Dalelands, and then back here next Wednesday at 7. So thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.
See you next time.
Hi,
Hey,
folks.
Matt.
Thanks for joining us.